Hello again, my skeleton peoples. The Crypt Gang has returned with the next session of our Chivalry campaign. If you've watched our previous session, you know what's about to happen. If not, it'll be linked in the description. You may skip the next bit to get into the action with a timestamp in the description, or give it a listen at your discretion. Either way, I hope you enjoy the show, and if you feel so inclined, give it a like and tell us how we did. This campaign is a tribute in memory to our dearly departed friend, Jason David Frank. Most well known for his acting as the Green and White Power Rangers through multiple different series, he created his own form of martial arts and even got inducted into the Karate Hall of Fame for it. It is in the spirit of the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers that this campaign is a tribute to. This campaign is hosted through StartPlaying.Games and played using the Roll20 virtual tabletop system. Every person participating in the campaign requested to play from the website and have lives of their own outside it. The intent is to play every Saturday evening, but sometimes life gets in the way, so expect players to come and go as needed. They are aware and have consented to these sessions being recorded for entertainment purposes. This is a medieval fantasy take on Power Rangers, changing them from bodysuit martial artists into kitted out medieval knights in shining armor. From cool robots to cool mythological creatures, and from goofy science powers to fantastical magical ones granted by their bonded mythical creatures. They are Grand Knights, appointed representatives from each of the 7 nations of this setting, who are sent out into the world to smite evil, save the innocent, and maybe get up to some tomfoolery or, dare I say it, shenanigans. Again, I hope you enjoy the show, and hope you have a blessed remainder of your day.
Next person.
Alright, I'll go ahead. I am a ranger. Ha, I definitely didn't mind blank. Next person.
Nice.
Just rolling that 20 on my crossbow.
Nice.
Oh,
I
I need
am
that.
pure rogue, baby.
Can I shoot the
Nice.
diplomat?
No,
I am
do not
a
shoot the
bardish
diplomat.
rogue.
Nice.
I'm kidding, by the way.
He'd eat you.
I love the game that I just paid for to actually, work.
What
Very
about
nice,
you,
very nice.
Franklin?
Hmm?
What about you, Frankenstein?
Frankenstein.
Ah, yes, Frankenstein.
Crypt.
Rise.
I was so offended on your behalf, he left.
He did.
Where did Star go?
I thought it was Fraxstone that left.
Yeah.
I thought it was Loki that
Star
left.
was like, this is beyond ridiculous.
Yeah. But hey, it's Halloween themed.
It
is Halloween themed.
Oh yeah, it's close to Halloween. Wait, when is Halloween?
2 weeks from now.
Oh,
Hello,
sweet.
welcome back.
I told you I was.
Are we gonna do a Halloween session?
We might.
We should.
Oh, I would love that.
Oh, so I'm
I
not gonna be
already
here in
have
the
trick or
session.
treat.
You realize the reason I don't
No!
mention my name as much is because I just have you guys run. I just have the app running in the background, and focus on the actual thing. You know this, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
What?
Which is why
I
I
know,
got
that's
away with having it be Frackenstone for like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize.
I mean, yours is still Barbalicious Fergalicious, and then there's
not
Loki
doing
as
that.
Bunnyhood.
I'm not changing that.
Wait, when did you
I'm keeping
change our
this.
names?
I changed a good handful of people's names. Only the people that complain about me changing their name get their names changed. And
So-
I
and
don't
Barb.
complain because they're
But
always
not me.
fantastic.
Like, this is my favorite rendition of this name so far. It's so fun. Like, yeah, I'm fabulous. What are you talking about?
It's not the fact that I have
Where's my
problem with
fabulous?
You are
it's the fact that
Fergalicious.
you keep calling me different names on the screen.
Frank.
Frankstone,
Mr.
Frankenstone.
Flintstone.
Arkstone, Mr. Flintstone.
Mr.
No,
Flintstone.
Ben's the only one who's called me Flintstone.
Frankstone.
It's fun to mess with you with your name.
It is.
Yeah, that's our ongoing joke.
Mm-hmm.
No one
Your
is
name
called
changes every
or
session.
birth.
They never will know what your actual name was.
Nope, never. Well, it's not like they see
Oh,
it's not like they see Discord, so that's okay.
What the heck is this? It sounds goofy as fuck.
Oh, what's your class? Ringstone.
I'm a sorcerer. I'm pure sorcerer.
Oh, okay.
Whoa, what's a
I
pure
thought
source?
I was the caster of the group.
No,
Huh?
I'm the
We
caster.
technically got 3. 4 if you want to count Finn.
Finn doesn't count. Finn's a
He-
quarter caster.
Yeah, Finn doesn't count. We don't claim him.
I know y'all don't claim me.
Just before we start the session, that duct tape is still an option, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And I've been recording.
You may be able to silence
Oh,
me, but you
nice.
won't silence me. Wait, what?
Oh, wait, before we start, can I
Why
go
hello
full
there,
barbarian?
YouTube.
Have a
Make sure to
account?
like, subscribe, and hit that bell.
Wow, everyone's talking at once. I'm so sorry, Barb.
Shut up,
Please
baby.
speak.
Oh, sorry.
You can
I
speak.
talk and then it lags. I have lag.
Borb, speak your piece. Your piece now.
It was Barb
Uh-huh.
with an A.
Barb.
Okay. So I have lag. So when I speak, like when I speak, it takes a second to get to you guys, because I'm so far away. I'm a time zone away from you. I'm an hour ahead.
If we cut out
Wow.
real.
You also just have really bad internet.
Yeah, that's true.
So
But I am an
Hey, I'd
hour
love to
away,
send
so I
this
have an
man internet.
excuse.
An
Hey,
hour
I'm
away,
thinking-
we have to catch up.
I'm also
He
like
said
an
the
hour
future.
away. Wait, what time is it for y'all?
8:55.
Barb's 3008 and we're so 2000 and late.
9:55 p.m.
Lightning will.
Okay,
That was good.
Barb, you were trying to say something before. What were you trying to say?
Oh, right. I was asking if I can go full barbarian because we have a cleric now.
If you
Are you
want
asking to reach
to take that 1 level in cleric away, you can.
I will do that,
Okay.
even though it was sometimes. But we have a
Wait, we're
cleric
a
now.
cleric?
Yeah, Corin,
yeah.
the little dwarf lady.
Corin.
Uh-huh.
The mute.
Yes.
The one that
I
doesn't.
don't know about
Give
this
her armor.
character.
Well, that
She
is
showed
easy.
up at the end of last session after you left. She is your caretaker, in the sense of should you decide that you want to pursue being a chaos-related person and not do what the gods told you, it is either she is going to try to convince you to stop doing that, or will convince you to stop doing that by killing you.
Oh,
How does she know that he's
Good.
strong enough to kill? I mean, couldn't we theoretically just, like, jump her?
She's probably been blessed by the gods.
She's
right.
a cleric of the god Kim Valur, the god of justice. And I'll tell you right now, she could probably wreck a good half of you before you start denting her armor.
Oof. Okay. I was
What
gonna
if we
ask
use
if we
the
could
big
give
guy?
her special armor so that
Uh,
she fits in with the group. Like, can we make her an honorary knight?
Yeah, like,
Nah.
we could make her, like, the Grey Ranger or something.
The Grey Ranger. Nah, she's gonna stay in the background. Her sole purpose is to heal you and to make sure you don't go down a dark path.
Dang, that'd be kind of
Okay.
cool if we were
Well,
allowed to like
already.
bestow up on her powers. Wait, in theory, could we do that for Sev?
What?
Never
Make
mind.
him an honorary knight?
Yeah.
He's not old enough.
No, he's a child. There's an age limit.
Uh-huh.
Is there? Dang, that was not.
Gotta be of majority, which for a human is 18.
Dadgummit.
He's got to
We're
be
not
able to drink and
artificially
drive.
aging him.
Wait, no, not both at the same time, but also he can do both, but not.
You
at the
can't
same
drink
time.
at 18.
He can drink.
What?
If he can
Yeah,
see
it's
over the
21.
counter, then he can drink. But he still has to be mature enough to make the conscious decision on whether or not he wants to be a knight. Booze, however, is
Right.
entirely different because in this day and age, it's probably the cleanest thing that you can drink.
Except for Finn's milk, it is premium.
Aw, dude.
Wait, what
Go
happened?
for my milk.
Wait, what did I miss with the milk thing?
That
Wait,
was all last session. I don't know how you missed it at all.
Yeah,
I don't
last
remember
session Finn kept going and got milk from the lady, and then you went and got Finn milk.
Oh my gosh! For a second, I thought he turned into a cow and got milked. Like this boy. Oh
no.
my gosh.
Ew.
He's a guy. How does that work?
It wouldn't.
It's a special kind of warm
Is it
milk.
so.
It isn't milk.
Oh.
Wait,
Anyway.
Comes in
Yes,
warm.
Sudden topic change.
doing anything but talking about a male being milked.
Let's not.
Yeah, we are moving on. Hello, YouTube. I've been recording for the last 9 minutes. So, yeah. Well, last session, we learned a whole bunch of things. Y'all are a upgraded version of Chaos Touched after you blew up the Chaos Elemental and had a nice spooky chat with the
Embodiment of chaos.
yeah, who told you that he's got, peanut butter M&Ms are the better ones. Anyway,
That's what he told him?
you told the librarian lady once you went back to town that, hey, we defeated the thing, but also we're chaos touched. And she's like, great, wait until the paladins get here. So then the paladins arrived and disarmed you and brought you to the Temple of the 13, where you got to meet the Council of the 13, where under no uncertain terms are you allowed to feed the chaos growing inside of you, because there's a tiny little seed that chaos embedded in you, which is how you are now a stage 6 chaos touched person. You are not, you've surpassed stage 5. You're now on your own little chart of chaos things. So to help keep you on track, Vitar made Kemvalur give you a chaperone, not caretaker. Little dwarf lady. She wears a gray robe, has like a rune-covered breastplate and warhammer and shield that she carries around. She's got like light blonde hair that's pulled back into a braid, and she's a mute.
You know what I don't really understand?
Hmm.
How come during fights, nobody ever goes for like the face or like, you know how most helmets will just have like a little like kind of visor type thing so that you can actually see through it? Why don't people just stab through that?
It's more difficult.
The meta reason. Yeah, the meta reason is that you get disadvantage on it.
If you're going for a certain
The-
part, is that
I
disadvantage?
thought you meant like in history, and I was gonna say they do.
They
Yeah,
very much did.
the only
Like,
the only
archers
problem
go for
with
that
it,
all the time.
yeah, the only problem with it is it's such a small opening, and you're better off trying to aim for a larger part of the body that's less protected, unless you somehow have some kind of advantage over the guy that you're trying to stab through the helmet.
Okay.
And
I thought you meant in real history.
well, that is real history. In D&D, that's a called shot, and you roll at a disadvantage, but if you succeed, you hit them in the face as a critical hit.
Oh,
That
sweet.
would kill them, assumingly, yeah.
If you said, I want to cut his head off, then you roll it and it's like, oh, hey, you cut his head off. If it's like, I want to stab this dude through the slit in his helmet, it's like, okay, you stabbed him through the slit of his helmet. Depending on how much damage you do, could determine whether or not you kill the guy. Cutting a head off is cutting a head off, but stabbing through the visor, people have survived worse.
Fair enough.
Mm.
Alright.
Do we know
I
if
thought you
Azumi's
meant like
joining us or
in
no?
I
European history.
booped
Europe.
Azumi. He has not responded back. My second boop was bruh. So hopefully he answers to some degree. Otherwise, we're going to have to leave him behind.
Was he not with you in your last D&D session? Because I thought you had one.
He wasn't in there. Well, we didn't have one yesterday because one person had to leave due to financial issues. But we're gonna hold a spot open in case he can come back, and another person had to call off the session, or at least participating in it due to family concerns. Since we only have a group of 4, that was 2 people gone, so we didn't have enough to play the session. So we didn't have one yesterday.
Okay.
Which is why I wasn't able to bring it up. Be like, oh, hey, you're going to join us for next session? Which is usually how I remind him that there's one that happens tonight. Strangely enough, he doesn't seem to get my messages being like, dude, what you doing? So today, we get to start off with having a quiet conversation with the nice, slightly German gnome lady and her mechanical spider, where you get to have an interview with her, where you get to talk about what you think you need to help round off and assist how you play your character. This would be like full role play. You're not going to tell me like any meta things. If I'm going to talk to you, it's as Dr. Agnes, and you're going to respond as your character.
Okay.
Sean, dude, let's do this.
Wait, before we start, did I get the things I was shopping for last session?
Yes, you have a shitload of swords.
Sean, dude.
Okay.
There we go. I got the voice.
I grabbed one for myself, in case I'm in an area with no magic, and the one with magic because I like that, and another one just in case the one without magic breaks, and I need a spare one without magic.
You also
swords.
have an addiction due to the Blade Master garb that you're wearing.
I think I have removed curse. Do you want me to take that off of you?
What, my swords? You want
No,
Fox
I'm-
about it?
No, I'm not talking about the swords. I'm talking about the stupid curse. I'm pretty sure I have removed curse available.
I have swords. This is good.
Give me
That's
a
very in character.
second. It really is. That was supposed to be.
Do you want me to, like, hold him down? I'm sorry,
No,
attempt
you don't
to
have
hold
to
him
worry.
down?
Joke's on you guys. Wait, yeah, I do. Hold up. I'm gonna walk up
I
to.
will.
Who is this that's saying this again?
It's Barb.
It's
I would like to point out that you're
Barbalicious
also
Berkeley
wearing
Machine.
cursed clothing as well.
I'm gonna walk up to Farkstone, and I'm gonna cast remove curse
Oh,
Yeah,
on his
Barb.
on his
Why don't you
outfit.
dare?
Who's cursed to be dramatic AF?
That's
Sav.
me. That's me.
So you do so with a flourish?
That
Wait. Did we get that cloak to Sev?
wasn't a cloak. That was a set of clothing. Well, not clothing.
give
It's
that to
+1
I think
leather
I
armor.
cursed Sev.
Yeah, we did give it to Sev.
So
Oh.
Sev is cursed to be dramatic.
It's
he-
whatever. I'm
Use it on
removing
your
that.
slime
I'm
minions.
removing the curse from the armor that Farkstone is wearing.
You mean Barb?
Oh, Barb. My bad.
Who's Barbstone?
Uh
That's your.
Apparently, the
Yeah,
two
no.
of us
I'm
combined
removing
is Barb.
whoever has the curse. I don't care. I'm walking up
Remove
to
the
them
curse off your son,
and removing the curse off of him. Sev is okay.
I don't. I want it. These
Well,
I think
are
being a
good
little
things.
dramatic will be good for his mental health, actually.
You said what?
I think being a little dramatic will be good for his mental health, actually.
That's the point. That's the reason I gave him them.
No, you just got tired of
Like,
having
I
to be
did it for a
dramatic about
reason.
everything.
What is mental health?
Indeed.
Something you've never had.
We don't care for him.
Dang.
Anyway, I'm removing the curse off of his armor
How do
so
I
he's
get
no
it?
longer addicted to swords.
Can I
No,
keep
as
it?
long as
Is
he's wearing
this
he's
a
still
will
addicted
save?
to swords. He just can
Nope,
remove
it
the
is
armor
a
now.
I remove the curse.
You have broken its attunement. So he'd have to take
What?
it off and put it back on. So at your touch, all curses affecting one creature or object end. If the object is a cursed magic item, its curse remains, but the spell breaks its owner's attunement to the object, so it can be removed or discarded.
Meaning, if he takes it back off, puts it back on, it'll basically he can keep it.
Yeah,
So you're-
and It gives him a cool little ability that allows him to move up to go up to his movement speed and use a bonus action to hit somebody, and if it succeeds, then it's considered a critical hit. And as a reaction, he can raise his AC by his proficiency bonus. He can make a attack against somebody if the increase in AC prevents the hit from
So you're telling
damaging
me
him.
that armor is better for him?
Yeah, it's just the downside is he collects swords now.
Okay, I will take back the fact that I tried to remove the curse.
Okay.
I don't know why you touched me, but I'm gonna go take a shower.
Okay, let's talk to Dr. Agnes, guys.
Yeah. Since we usually start at the top of the list, we will instead start at the bottom of the list. So, Mr. Finn, you and Dr. Agnes get to go first.
Alright, before that, I have a question.
Sure.
Relevant.
Do I still have the kind of relevant? Do I still have the tape on my mouth?
No.
No, we ripped it off a while ago.
Thank you.
You're
And
gonna
I was trying to grow that mustache.
go.
Alright.
You're gonna go down
No,
here.
you can't grow mustaches.
I could try. Won't work, but I can
Ironically, Crypt, it would be cool if you dragged to a different VC to do the one-on-one talks, so that nobody knows what everybody else is gonna get. Until we just use it in battle.
Do you want
understand.
to do that?
Yeah.
That would be kind of cool.
Okay. Alright. Be right
Thank
back.
you. Vanished.
Wig.
Where'd he go?
He
I
went
thought
to
it
the
was
other.
Finn first.
Yeah, it is Finn.
Man, it really doesn't like it when I'm the next person to connect. There we go. Sorry.
Alright.
It took a minute for me to connect.
Sorry.
So, Dr. Agnes and her fancy spider bring you down to one of the tables down at the, I wouldn't say, let's say like the south end. And she sets out a whole bunch of parchment and all these like kind of ramshackle folders. And on them is your name written in a handful of different languages, and you know just by looking at them that all these parchments are about you.
Whoa. Did they write a story about me?
I've been studying you for quite a while, Mr. Finn.
Oh, that's sweet. What do you think of me?
I think you need some work. But
Yeah,
hey,
that's probably right.
everybody needs a little bit of work inside of their lifetime, so you're doing okay.
Oh, dude, thanks.
So my question for you is, first off, why did you become a Grand Knight?
Kill the Fae.
Just a Fae?
Mainly also to protect other people.
And what is this impetus to kill the Fae?
My parents were killed by the Fae. Well, mind controlled by the Fae. I was forced to kill them.
Oh. Well, that would be
That's about it.
good enough reason for most. Well, my second question for you is, where do you think your shortcomings are?
I see a few shortcomings, to be honest. I mean, I don't think I'm able to help out as much in combat. I mean, when I'm just, like, looking around at everybody else, everybody's doing all this cool stuff, like, we have Star, he's able to do all these cool magical blasts. We have, like, let's see, we have the rabbit. I'm sorry, I'm really not good with names, man.
I believe his name is Loki.
Yeah, Loki. He's, like, really good at, like, assassination stuff, same as Orb?
If I remember correctly, um, your little bunny friend is not so much an assassin as he is a very good thief.
Maybe I'll get them mixed up.
It's okay. It sometimes happens. His very large, leonine friend uh, is more of the assassination type, but he is a former samurai, so less likely to go down the hole of killing people in the night and more just challenging them in a straight fight. But from what I'm hearing, you're saying that you don't think that you do as much combat work as your comrades, yeah?
Oh, dude, I mean, I'm nice and all. I mean, I have a few things going for me. I have my pretty dang good aim, and I have my bugs. My bugs are cool. And, well, I also have my spike growth, but that's about it. I kind of fall short in assisting, and I feel like I could have done better in most combat.
You see as Dr. Agnes is writing down everything that you're saying, you see like the spider underneath her is at the same time like making you a cup of coffee, and like this like nice little ceramic saucer and cup. He kind of slides it across the table with one of his little metal legs and just kind of like points at it and waves.
Oh, is this for me? Thanks, dude.
So
He's gonna go ahead and take a little sip.
it
I'm
is
worrying about burning himself.
it is your preference in how sweet it should be, and it has like a little bit of like a hazelnut and a little bit of vanilla kick to it.
It's gonna be really sweet.
Okay. He's got a sweet tooth.
Yeah, kinda.
So, so she just kind of like finishes writing down everything and puts the paper at the top of the stack, and then grabs from her satchel at her hip 2 rolls of blueprint paper, and
Oh, what's this?
she lays them both down, still like rolled up, and she points to the one on your left, and says, "This is what I had in mind when I came in this morning." And she points to the second one, the one on your right, and says, "This is the one that we can walk through to figure out whether it would work for you. Would you like to know what I had planned for you?"
Yeah, of course.
So
Always just the adventure.
so she like nudges the one on the right beneath the spider and unrolls it. And what you see on the blueprint paper is, after she like tacks down the side, like the corners with her little spider buddy, you see the same bow that you currently have now, except fitted with like a little engine in the middle of the grip with a crystal set into it. And the rest of it is kind of jargon to you, but what she explains is that the weapon she has in mind will come equipped with a um, scope, essentially, like a little targeting reticle that you could use that is lit up by the crystal inside of the engine. And it's got a mechanism in it that makes it so that whatever you fire from the bow, when you turn on the mechanism, can't miss.
Oh, that's sweet.
Um,
I thought I was
the
gonna like shoot rainbows.
She just kind of smiles. It creates arrows when you pull back on like the magical beam of light string that comes out of the 2 crystals that come out of the top. It's not magical. I just couldn't figure out what else to say. There's like 2 little crystals at like the tips of the bow that, when the mechanism is tripped, make like this like line of really thin light, and you pull back on it using like a special glove that comes with it. The engine creates the arrow using the energy from the crystal inside the engine. The downside of using it in this form is that you no longer benefit from critical hits.
Alright.
So in this function, you just roll damage, and you can switch it back and forth where you can, like, free aim or just center of mass somebody. But the one thing that it can do is that it's got three uses to it, three charges if you want to call it that, where you can mark someone utilizing the targeting reticle, where like gives them like this kind of like paint kind of concept, where you mark them and then you can hide behind cover and shoot them from around the cover.
Oh, kind of sweet.
If it hits, give me a second. They make a dexterity saving throw. Like you shoot it, and it'll either ignore their cover or ignore your own. So like 5th edition has like different levels of cover. You've got like partial, um, 3/3 cover, and then full cover. Full cover means that they can't see you and they can't hit you. If someone is behind cover, you don't care because it'll go around their cover or around yours.
Okay.
They do a dex save. If they fail the save, they take twice the amount of damage that you did to them.
Oh.
And if they fail, they just take your normal weapon damage and the mark goes away.
Okay, that's sweet.
So imagine a medieval longbow fitted out with like steampunk little engine kind of thing with a crystal that provides an energy source that you can flip down a scope to better aim at people. And by the way, your range becomes if you can see them. Instead of being like 120 and 360, if you have visual sight on someone, you can shoot them.
Okay.
And also, you don't roll at disadvantage if somebody's in melee with you. You just like blat.
Oh my god, it's beautiful.
It'll be a +1 longbow, and it does necrotic damage when you have it active.
Like, holy smokes. And you can really make this?
She's like, I've technically, based off of this blueprint, I've already made it. I just need your bow.
You're amazing. Wait, can I also figure out what the other one does?
Well, that one is if you decide that you don't like this one.
Oh, I love this one. Alright, can I go with this one?
Sure, I just need your bow.
Alright, wow, it's, my bow's still gonna be my bow, right?
Yeah, it'll be...
Just gonna be upgraded?
Aesthetically, your bow will not change. It'll have a little bit of an engine in it, and it'll do extra things, but material-wise and function-wise, it'll still be your knightly weapon.
Alright, just making sure. I have a whole lot of memories with this thing.
I will not do anything untoward with your bow.
Alright, thanks, dude. It's gonna go ahead and hand over his bow. A little reluctantly, but he is.
She takes it gingerly and hands it to the spider underneath her, who sticks it inside of another like bag. It looks like a bag of holding, and like pats it gently before she says, "Unless you have any more questions, please bring your feathery friend Little Bob to me."
Alrighty. I don't think I have any question. Wait, actually, I do have one question. What's your spider friend's name?
His name is Ned. Say hello, Ned.
Alright.
And he like waves at you again. He's got like the little chibi eyes.
Hey, Ned, you're kind of cool.
You hear this like a beep boop boop.
Alright, I'll go get Borg.
Thank you very much. Don't judge me for my terrible German accent, please. wondering. Well, hello.
Guten Tag.
Sadly, I don't actually speak German.
Uh,
I think we've discussed this before.
I feel like we probably have because I just speak too many languages.
French, German, Spanish?
Yes, and some Japanese.
Well, look at you. A good old polyglot over here.
Indubitably.
I wish I knew more Russian than I currently do. If
Well,
only my
if you're
teacher
rushing
hadn't
into it, you better be careful.
But anyway, you wander down to Dr. Agnes after I'm assuming Finn came and grabbed you.
Yes.
She has sitting out on the table in front of you a a stack of parchment and a little ramshackle folder that has your name written on it in several different languages. And it doesn't refer to you as Borb, it does refer to you as your given name as of Sazun.
Yeah.
Um, and she also has 2 rolls of blueprint paper currently sitting on top of the um, table in front of her as well. She's sitting on her little spider, and her little spider friend gives you a cup of coffee. It's like a little
I'm
on a
down.
little ceramic saucer and a little ceramic cup, and it is the precise amount of sugar that Borb prefers in his.
Very sweet.
Okay, so that's 2 people with very large sweet tooths. It has hazelnut and vanilla tastes to it, flavors.
Notes of woodiness, oakiness.
It is kind of a strong coffee, but it's diluted a little by the hazelnut and
Cream.
vanilla. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the gnome smiles at you and says, "Welcome to my little table."
Hello, doctor.
Thank
And
you.
I mimic her accent.
Okay. She kind of just grins and says, "So before we get started, I have a couple of questions for you.
Okay.
First off, what made you want to become a Grand Knight?"
I wanted to get away from the temple, though in a roundabout way I've gotten even closer.
Yes, you are a chosen of the good old god Umbris.
Yes. And I am a special Kenku.
Yes, you can speak
Yes.
for yourself, not just in mimicry. You are a scientific anomaly, and if it wasn't for the fact that I am an inventor and not a biologist, or maybe as another way around, I'd try to study you to figure out why you get to speak while other Kenku do not. However, I am not here for that. I'm here for cool weapons, as Finn would say.
Ooh, I am very intrigued.
Well, that leads to my second question. Do you feel that well, not feel. Um, how did I phrase it? Are there
On a
any
scale from
shortcomings?
1 to 10, how chaotic am I feeling?
Not that much. What kind of shortcomings do you find yourself having in combat?
My whip has range, but not as much as I would like, because I still have to try and get past the others so I don't hit them with my whip if I get flourishing.
So you feel that if you go onto the front line, that you might hit your friends.
Yes.
Ah. So she like quickly writes down a whole bunch of stuff, and she points down at the two blueprints in front of you. She points down to the one on your left and says, "This is the one that I made before I came in this morning." And then points at the right one and says, "This is the one that you and I can make if you feel that what I came up with is not good enough."
I don't think it's a matter of good enough. I just think it might be preference.
Well, that is why I like to have these conversations. Would you like to know what I came up with before I came in?
Yes.
So she pushes the other roll like down underneath the spider robot's body and then unrolls it. The spider then takes up 4 of his little feet and puts them down on the corners. And what you see is your whip. However, it is augmented with like a little engine at the tip where the rope for the whip comes out, and you see that it has been replaced by a metal chain of some kind where the giant shards of obsidian are attached to it. And next to it, well, inside of the engine, you see that there's like a little crystal that helps power it. Next to that diagram of the whip, you see that there is like a jagged obsidian short sword, and it's a little bit jargony to you. But what she explains to you without having to use the terrible German accent is essentially the whip will function the same way it had before, but it'll have a little engine in it that'll have a mechanism that you trigger with like a little trigger on it, that is powered by the little arcane crystal that sits inside the engine that allows your whip to turn into a short sword. The whip itself is upgraded to a D6 instead of a D4. The short sword looks and functions like a smaller version of the Aztec obsidian like blades.
Macoatl?
Yeah. And it is of course a +1. So like the whip and the short sword will function as a +1 weapon. As part of your attack action with the sword, you can choose to expend one of the uses in the weapon to leave behind a jagged piece of obsidian inside of a person. Well, no, it is not part of the uses. You can just choose to do that. And you can leave up to your proficiency bonus in shards in people, but it can only be 1 in each one. So at this moment, that's a 3?
Yes.
So right now, you can leave 3 shards in people. And as a bonus action, when you use a charge or a use in the short sword, you trigger it again, and the whip comes out and follows the path through those people that have those jagged obsidian shards in them, and then yanks them out.
Oh. I feel like that might be a little too gruesome for Borb. Not that it isn't cool, but Borb is not about, like, killing first and finding out later.
Well, it's
more
along the lines of, like, each one that you do yank out is a critical hit, if they fail the Constitution save. But you can do that, or just get the shards back afterwards. Like, you don't have to actually use that, but if you want to get rid of a good handful of enemies, like if you're surrounded by undead or beastmen, you can attempt to take them all out all at once.
Yeah.
And it makes it so that you can use your whip's flourish without hurting your friends.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. I have a pain right behind my left eye.
You're fine.
And what would be the other option?
That's one that you come up with between you and Dr. Agnes. It's something that if you don't want the whip that she made, you two can brainstorm another one.
Okay. real fast, Crypt, I might actually have to go. My vision is getting really blurry, and I can't even read the screen.
Okay. So do
But
you?
I will probably go with talking to Agnes at a different time to come up with a slightly different weapon. Because I was wondering, is there any way I could put, like, a bolo on my whip?
To like trip people?
Yeah, so, like, if I whip my whip around someone to, like, restrain them, then the bolo will just wrap around with the whip and stay there after I bring my whip back.
So a way to um, hinder somebody without hindering the use of your whip.
Yes.
I could give it some thought. See how she would make that work. Because can't do like a magical thing. Has got to be a steampunky
Mechanical.
scientific one. Yeah.
Well, if the bolo is basically like a three metal ball on the whip, then it would just be like on the side of the whip, like clamped. So when you whip the whip around, it acts as like what's that called? A slap bracelet.
Okay. Slap bracelet bolas. It's a good band name.
I know, right? Sounds pretty metal.
Yeah. I'll come up with something. If you want to send Barbaros in, and if you need to leave, then feel better.
Okay. Let me get real close to my monitor real fast because I can't see.
Okay. Hey YouTube, tell me if that shit was bonkers, because came up with that, and I didn't think it was gruesome enough, but I guess Borb has a different uh, mentality for it, I suppose. Oh, he's typing. What's he doing? And there he goes. She goes. Well,
Hello?
hello.
Hi, that was a little bit difficult for a second.
Nuh.
You're hard to hear.
Sorry?
Oh, you're good. You're good. I can
Okay.
hear you.
So go ahead and move your little token guy down to where Dr. Agnes is, and we could get started.
Yes. Good enough.
Yeah. Um, so after Borb came to retrieve you, you came down to where Dr. Agnes is sitting.
Sorry.
I'm sorry?
I didn't say anything.
Okay. Um, you see, as you come to sit down, she's got a stack of parchment and like a little ramshackle little folder kind of guy that has your name written on it in a number of different languages. And next to that stack of paper is two rolls of blueprint paper. And as you arrive, the little robot spider guy that she is sitting on actually makes you a cup of coffee as like a little saucer and like a little cup that has like steaming hot coffee in it that is made to your preference in sweetness with like hints of hazelnut and vanilla with like a little bit of a stronger coffee underneath.
Mhm. Hot chocolate.
Okay, then it can be hot
For the
chocolate.
record. Nice.
So Dr.
Oh
Agnes,
gosh, everything's
uh-oh, she smiles at you and says, before we get started, I have 2 questions for you. The first one is, what got you into being a Grand Knight?
Oh, actually. I want to prove. I I want to prove that the red tieflings aren't inherently bad. Number 2, well, this one's best first priority. I want to give my sister a better life. We grew up in squabble. We literally had a tent. It was a tarp held up by 4 sticks.
Ooh.
And 3, I wanted I want to take out all the beastmen. I want to eliminate them. I believe this is something that my country should be focused on, but it's something that I want to do too.
It's very noble goals. Now, my second question is, are you aware of any shortcomings you have in combat at present?
Shortcomings?
Yes.
I can't always get to where I want to go. I can't. Sometimes I get stuck in a place, or I can't get to my friends in time, and they would have to take the damage instead of me, which is something I've designated myself to protect my friends and serve my people and this world that I live in.
So she writes down everything that you just said, and then points down at the 2 blueprints sitting in front of you. She points first at the one on your left and says, "This is the one I made when I came in this morning, or at least before I came in this morning. So this is my idea of what I can do to make you a little bit more powerful in combat." And then she points to the right one and says, "This one we'll make together. If you decide that the one I designed for you is not to your preferences, would you like to
What
know
is the one?
what I made?"
Yes.
So she pushes the other roll underneath the spider and then opens it up. And the little spider guy puts his 4 feet on the corners, and you see a diagram of your curved saber-like greatsword. However, you see that there's a couple of additions on it. It has a small engine put where just underneath the guard of the sword and where the blade meets it. And it has a little arcane crystal that it would use to power it. And the saber part of your sword has what you can only describe as cracks running through it. And the rest of all of the diagram is like jargon and um, like dimensions and stuff. But without using the bad German accent that I've been using, essentially the engine powers some powerful electromagnets and wind energy that turn the shards of your sword into projectiles. As a bonus action, you can trigger the mechanism in the engine that slightly separates all the different shards of the blade, and it allows you to, as part of like an attack action, you can make a ranged attack with it with a 30-foot range and 120 feet max range. To target a distant enemy. With the use of the weapon's engine, you can send a single shard of the greatsword blasting towards somebody, which goes through any enemy in the way. Any enemy between you and the guy you targeted in a straight line, they all have to make a dexterity saving throw. If they fail, they take your weapons damage, or half of it if they succeed, where the guy who you attacked takes all of it, because, you hit him. And then it comes back and does it again.
Nice, nice.
So there's not a whole lot of mobility options in it, but we can figure that out for your armor too. But this will give you a little bit extra than I've got big sword and want hit thing. You can now hit thing at a distance. Along with all of the enemies between you and wherever it is you need to go. Because remember, you can make a weapon attack action as a bonus action after you've moved.
Right.
Does
This
this?
comes back together, right? This is
Yes.
a family heirloom.
Yeah. I mean, if
Solid.
it was made, at least augmented by the mage smith that made it your knightly weapon, but it will come back together. You just hit the little trigger again, and the shards go back into a single hole. The electromagnets inside of it will prevent it from doing any kind of wibbly wobbly stuff.
Right, so it's solid.
Yes.
Would it be solid in a place that's empty magic?
Yes, because there's the only thing magical about this contraption here is the arcane crystal that empowers it. But it's inside of a leaded, shielded engine. So the only way magic could get inside of it is if, I don't know, they used a 5th or 6th level spell to do it.
Okay.
And even then, it's temporary because arcane crystals are naturally found magical sources of energy. Yours uses wind energy and can regain power through the ambient wind around it.
Okay.
So is this something that you'd like to go into battle with?
I just want to make sure that the sword itself isn't gonna fall apart ever.
No.
Because this, before I took this to be a knightly weapon, this was a family heirloom.
Surprised you didn't sell it when you were poor and living on the streets.
Well, it's important. It's the last thing my dad gave me.
I will make sure that I treat it with all the utmost care, as one should.
Okay. I will go with this design.
Okay, then I just need your blade.
Here you go.
She takes it from you, but as soon as you release it, her hands kind of drop. So the spider's arms come up and kind of catch it, and between the two of them, because she's just a tiny gnome, guides it into the bag of holding that she has off to the side, labeled "Knightly Weapons" in a big block lettering. The spider pats it gently on the top, and she says, "Well, I will start working on that as soon as I am finished speaking with your comrades. If you may, please ask Mr. Starr to come visit me unless you have any other questions."
I will.
Thank you very much.
I do have one question. Can it be further upgraded if necessary?
This is the first step in increasing your battle capabilities.
Okay.
It will only grow from here.
Ah, yes. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And I entrust you with that. I will send in Star.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Bye. Hey, he didn't go all robotic on us and stuff. That's great. He only did it once. It's different not hearing everybody. Makes me wonder what they're getting up to. Hello!
I was told it was my turn.
Yeah, sure is.
Okay.
Go ahead and bring your little token down to where Dr. Agnes and her spider buddy is.
Where are they?
Down at the bottom portion of the map.
My computer's being funky. There it goes.
We'll just slap you in the little seat. So as you come down to her, she's sitting on her spider who is standing on the table. You see that she's got like a stack of parchment. And on top of it is like a ramshackle kind of folder thing with your name written on it, alongside like also in like other languages. And directly in front of her are 2 rolls of blueprint paper. And as you come down, the little spider guy actually makes you a cup of coffee. It's got like a little ceramic plate and a little cup, and it's still hot and is to your preference of how sweet you want it to be. It's got like little hazelnut and vanilla flavorings in it, and it's a pretty strong coffee.
It's that accurate? Dang.
Yeah.
Can we keep that thing when the doctor leaves?
You can ask the doctor.
Can we keep that thing Can we keep this thing when you leave, or do you have a model of it of any sort?
I mean, we'll be sticking around for a while, so I imagine Mr. Ned here can make you some coffee in the future. We've been spending a lot of time studying all of you, so he knows all of your favorite flavor profiles. Blah, blah. That's why he knows how to make you the perfect cup of coffee. Or in Bob Barrow's case, hot chocolate.
It would make sense. Barbaros doesn't drink coffee.
So before we discuss the upgrades to your weapon, I have 2 questions for you. The first one is, why did you want to become a Grand Knight?
It started off as to prove to my friends that I couldn't do it. I could do it, and it became an actual job after.
So it was a dare.
Yep.
And somehow you passed?
Mm-hmm.
What reasoning did you give the Council of Peers when they asked you why you wanted to become one?
I didn't. I kind of just walked in one day. I think I accidentally walked into the Grand Knight selection by mistake.
So you didn't spend the 3 days you needed to spend not getting hit by people.
If you want to say that, yeah.
Okay. Second question.
Somehow, yes.
We'll roll with that. Do you think you have any shortcomings when it comes to combat?
Honestly, I'd like to be a wee bit more stealthy in some situations. Or I'd like some close combat options. My character, I'm very much one of those ones that I'm quite far away from the battle typically.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I managed to bring the entire party back up last time in our last battle, which was impressive. So I don't know.
Indeed.
I like more melee / healing capabilities, if you could say that.
Well, after she writes down everything that you just said, she points at the 2 blueprints in front of you, and she starts off with the one on your left and says, "This is the one that I made before I came in this morning. So what I perceived that you might want. And based off of what you just said, could be perfect for you. However, then points at the one on your right and says, "This is the one that we can come up with together. If you consider what I intend to make you, based off of the first one I pointed out, if that does not meet your preferences, would you like to know what it is I made for you?"
I'd like to see the one that was made for me
Right.
initially.
She pushes the one, the other roll like behind, like underneath the spider, and you see that there's a number of other rolls next to it. And she unrolls it, and you see, like after the Ned puts his 4 of his little feet on the corners to like flatten it out. Um, you see a diagram of the 2 daggers that you have as your knightly weapons. You see that they are fitted with like a engine, like a little engine in the where the guards are between
So a
the
drive engine? Not drive engine, just
like a little. It's powered by a arcane crystal, and it has both of the daggers have a connective bit that allows you to connect them together, like a blade up kind of thing. And when they're
my mistake.
connected,
I thought my mistake. From when we were initially created my character, I was under the impression that my daggers could combine together. Because remember how I wanted my knightly weapon to look? Remember, it's kind of like how the
yeah, because
Golden
it
Ranger
goes like end to end.
Yeah.
Um, you can still do that if you wanted to
Oh,
turn into like a spear, because that's still part of like your fighting style. Um,
okay. Yeah.
but if you want to, you can connect them like point up, like I don't want to say like side by side, but like um, grip to grip, so like you can hold them like a normal knife. But when they're connected, they actually make a uh, energy based gladius.
I would be totally down with that. What's the
Um,
other option?
well, so like when they're connected, it turns into the gladius, and it comes with a gauntlet that when the gladius is activated, creates a tower shield over your other hand, which you're not actually carrying the tower shield, so you can still do spellcasting because you have a hand free. Because when it's in Gladius mode, you can't use it as a spell focus. But what happens is that you get a +3 to your AC when the tower shield is active, so it's a +1 shield. The Gladius and the daggers, of course, are both +1. Um,
Am I still allowed to use that as my spell casting focus?
Not when it's in Gladius form.
Meaning I would only be doing normal damage there.
Yes, but it is all necrotic damage.
Hmm.
And it would still benefit from like your weapon buff. Um, it treats immunity to necrotic damage as resistance, resistance as normal, and no resistance as weakness to necrotic damage.
Is there a special way that I have to pull this weapon out, or is this just I can do at any given time as long
You
as my
could.
daggers are out?
It's a bonus action when it's in combat. Otherwise, you can just have it together if you want. Um, when you strike an enemy with it, you can choose to expend a use from the engine that powers the Gladius energy to gain HP up to your proficiency bonus from every enemy around you that you have at least hit once.
You said one more time, please.
So from as part of like a successful attack action with the Gladius, if you've hit anybody else around you, with the use of the engine from the sword, you can regain, essentially at this point, 3 HP from every enemy that you've hit around you.
So if I were to cast, which I typically do, Eldritch Blast a few times and hit multiple enemies, I'd be able to heal my health cell.
As long as you stab someone first with the Gladius and then activate it.
Okay. That's worth. I mean, truthfully, I would also like if there's a way that I can make it to where I can keep my daggers while not while my armor isn't on. in that I could activate my armor throughout my daggers, which would also be able to do the Gladius thing. I don't know. Because I typically forget to armor up before we start a fight.
Well, you also get Vampiric Touch when your armor is active.
Oh, true.
So you're going to be gaining a lot of HP if you have like the Gladius up and your armor up. So this is like you can bonus action to turn it back into the daggers, Eldritch Blast somebody for extra damage, and then the next turn turn it into the Gladius again, stab somebody, and gain a bunch of health back. So you can stay pretty constant in terms of HP where you want to sit so that you have all of those extra attacks being the Hydra Knight.
Granted, I don't get those extra attacks unless I'm damaged.
Yeah.
If I'm feeling health back, I'm only going to get my typical 2 attacks with my Eldritch Blast.
Well, the thing is that you have a natural regen that gives you temporary HP, and
Oh,
that
sure.
doesn't. Yes, being.
Right. I read that on my sheet, and then it's one of those abilities that I do forget about quite often.
So as long as you're near your Hydra in combat, at the start of every turn, you get, I believe right now, half of your proficiency bonus. So you get 1 temporary HP every turn, but it stacks on top of each other. So like one turn you get 1.
Actually, a good thing to note.
Next turn 2, 3. So this way, once that ability upgrades, and we could turn this into temporary HP if you'd prefer. So that makes it so that you can stay at low HP, get those extra attacks, but still have a way to buffer damage.
That is how I would like that to work.
Okay,
yes.
so we can turn that from regaining spent HP to getting a stack of temporary HP.
Yeah, because I really do want to be able to keep the fact of I want to be able to keep the extra attacks when I get lower. Kind of how Moon grows his extra heads, I want to be able to do extra attacks along with him.
Yeah. So change that to gain, not regain, but
Is this your way of, I'm assuming, writing notes down and stuff?
I have a notepad sheet where I keep all this stuff.
Okay, I was going to say, yeah. You want to know the reason I suggested that you do everything individual? So that you're not having to talk over everybody.
Well, originally I was going to go through the rigorous process of turning everybody down and still listen to like conversations and stuff, because based off of the GIF that Frackstone just put out of Lord help me with this one, it makes me wonder what the conversation currently is.
Oh, okay. Would you like me to quickly give you a recap?
Sure.
Okay, so we initially started talking about, I don't actually know what we started with, but it went from we should do a Freaky Friday Halloween episode where we all switch bodies.
That's great.
And then we started talking about Sev's. I asked how old Sev was, and then we started talking about child development.
And then Barbaros has this message of, I was going to ask if you want me to go into child psychology.
Yeah, because we were trying to see, because how I treat Sev younger than he is.
If I remember correctly, he is like...
He's 12.
Yeah.
But he has like the physiology of a 7-year-old.
Because of malnutrition and stuff. He's getting a lot bigger now because he's being fed every day. Which
Still,
he...
like, I treat him younger than he is.
Well, he is mature for his age. Because everybody that was around him was a doctor, so they all spoke very, like, scientifically. So he uses rather large words. But he'd rather be treated as if he was younger because he'd never had any kind of, like, friends.
He wants to be treated younger.
Yeah, because, like, he wants to... If he was given the choice, he would go back in time and get rid of the chaos magic that was plaguing his body so that he can have friends like a normal kid. So he can grow up a normal way.
Intense died to maybe, like, just remove that part of his childhood.
If he had a wish, maybe.
That's a wish thing you'd make me do. That'd be a wish thing.
Yeah.
Which I don't get as a warlock.
And nobody gets because no one's a wizard. You'd have to spend.
I will class myself in for get
That
wish.
is a 9th level spell. So right now, as a 8th level warlock, you cannot get wish.
Because well, just in case my character dies, that's what I'm gonna end up doing.
Okay.
We're gonna become a wizard in our next life.
Okay. Man, Frackstone. So are you okay with this addition to your weapon?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think I am.
Then I just need your knives, your daggers.
I summon them from the incorporeal realm that they live in. I look at them. Stabby. Stabby Magoo. This is goodbye for now. And I hand her my daggers.
She takes them gently, hands them to the little spider guy, and he puts them inside of a bag of healing that's labeled "Knightly Weapons" in like large black block letters, and pats it gently before giving you like the ooh kind of chibi eyes.
Can I request something of you? And I will pay you to do this.
From Dr. Agnes?
From Dr. Agnes, yes.
Depends on what it is.
It's just a funny little curse I want to put on Finn's weapons. Would you allow that?
Depends. I'm more of a magical, or not a magical, but more scientific kind of person, so I don't really have curses.
Could you make it apply a negative effect of some sort?
Like what?
I would like to, anytime he pulls his bow out, he can still he's still pretty good at aim. Pretty still good he gets somewhat of a disadvantage while shooting. I don't know how you would work that, but
Well, based off of what I told him for the bow that I'm going to make him, he has a choice of making it so that it cannot miss.
huh. That's a good note. Fine. Every now and then I want his bowstring to break at an inconvenient time.
That would be kind of detrimental to me as a inventor if the thing that I make breaks.
Dang it. And this is me asking out of character. Do you have a suggestion that I could do just to mess with Finn?
Just like Agnes is a perfectionist, so it's going to do the thing that she wants it to do, but she can do something innocuous and innocent, such as it could play
Never mind.
like a stupid sound when he brings it up. It can make a noise when he releases the arrow.
That'll be something I would like to do.
Okay.
Anytime he pulls out, it just makes a fart noise. Anytime he pulls out his bow and shoots an arrow.
So every arrow just.
Yep. Anytime he goes, and when he's knocking back an arrow, he just makes a really.
She laughs and says, "I can do that. If he asks me to turn it off, I will do that. I'll show him how to do that at least. But
You can
for
show
the
him how to do
beginning,
that, or do you mind just showing me how to do that?
if he asks me, I cannot tell him no. It is his thing.
Fair enough. I'm okay with that.
But if he doesn't ask me, then the joke continues. But yes, I could do that.
That works. Thank you.
You're welcome. Since
Alright.
your cat friend is a little bit busy, if you can, please ask the Dragonborn Frackstone to come join me at the end of the table, please.
Frackstone.
Yes.
Alright, I will.
Thank you very much. Enjoy your coffee.
Yes.
Oh, excuse me. I don't know what they're doing, but there's a lot of Chuck Norris things about cheese, a child smiling.
Hello.
Hello. Go ahead and bring your little token down to where Dr. Agnes is sitting at the bottom table. And then we can get started.
There we
Huzzah!
go. Well, close enough.
So before I start, what's going on over there?
You mean in the group you're not listening to?
Yeah. I see it.
Random and 80.
What?
You know what happens when we're let off the hook?
Yes, I see lots of gifs of silly things.
Well, I've got a bit of a sore throat, so I've been saving my voice. So, whenever I wanted to respond to something, I was throwing gifts up.
Okay. That's fair. Well then, now that I know a little bit of the context of all the things happening, when you get down to the end of the table where Dr. Agnes is sitting with her spider buddy, you see that there's like a stack of parchment, and on top of it is like a ramshackle folder that has your name written on it in a number of different languages. And directly in front of her, because the stack is a little bit off to the side, there's 2 rolls of blueprint paper. And as you come to sit down, the spider robot, whose name is Ned, hands you a warm cup of coffee. It's got like a little saucer and a cup. It's still steaming, freshly made. It is to your preference of sweetness, and it's got like hazelnut, vanilla, and like a rather strong coffee.
Thank you.
You bet. So before we get started on me showing you what I've got planned, I have 2 questions for you. The first one is, what made you want to be a Grand Knight?
I wanted to show that fighting with magic was still honorable.
Yes, you come from a culture where it's mainly females that perform magic, yeah?
Correct.
And you being someone that is born with magic, not only that, but dragon magic. You wanted to prove that a man can do what a female can also do.
Without being dishonorable.
Yes.
Correct.
In the strict warrior culture of your people, I'm surprised that something more violent or cruel maybe, was anything that you might have experienced in life.
Mostly just claims upon my honor as we were growing up, saying I would never be honorable in fighting, just stuff like that.
Even though it wasn't your choice to be a sorcerer.
Correct.
So, my second question is, do you find yourself having any shortcomings in combat?
Due to my fighting style, the close range is generally the weakest part for a spellcaster, but because of my fighting style, I don't have as much of a weakness there, though it is still the weakest portion for my abilities.
So, your close combat abilities is both a asset and partially a detriment. Am I understanding that correctly?
Yes. I have the power of my spells behind my close combat, but making sure I hit what I'm hitting is the problem.
So, she writes that all down on like the medieval equivalent of a clipboard, and then points down at the 2 blueprints in front of you. She points at the one on your left and says, "That is the one I came up with just before I came in this morning to talk to you this evening." This other one, and she points at the one on your right, says, "This is the one that we can come up with together, in case the one that I made is not up to your preference. Would you like to know what I made?"
I would indeed.
So you see underneath the spider that there's like a good bunch of rolls of blueprint paper that she just kind of adds the one on the right to, and then she unrolls the remaining blueprint. And Ned uses his little metal feet to hold down the four corners, and you see that it is a diagram of your staff. But in the very middle of it, you see that there is a little engine set with a arcane crystal in the middle of it that has a trigger that leads to this kind of like inner like piping inside of the staff. The rest of it is kind of jargon and like dimensions and artificery kind of nomenclature. To put it into terms that your character could understand, and without using my terrible German accent, she would turn it into a segmented staff, where hitting the trigger on the engine causes a mechanism to separate the top portion and the bottom portion, turning into like in like thirds essentially, to be connected by I don't want to call it a string, but like a line of fire energy that you essentially can use as a whip. When activated, it gives your staff a base reach of 10 feet instead of the normal 5 feet. It allows you to use your spellcasting ability instead of your normal melee.
Ooh.
When you swing with the staff, and you can, as part of as a bonus action after having segmented it, you can expend a use from the engine to extend your reach by another 5 feet, and you can keep doing that 3 times.
Are you saying I could get it up to 25 feet?
Yup.
Ooh.
And with your ability to add your spells onto your staff, the ability to turn it into a 25-foot flail to just gonk a dude over the head of your allies or over anyone else really, will allow you to pinpoint people. And with your spellcasting ability instead of your strength, you'll be able to hit a little bit better.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, Crackstone's very interested in this.
It does retract at the end of your turn if you don't extend it out again.
Okay.
In its base extended form, it just stays that way. But if you don't extend it, or like if you use a bonus action to extend it, then at the end of your turn, it goes back. So to keep it out at the 25-foot range, you either have to build up to it or do it all at once, bop a dude, and then it goes back. It regains a use every hour from nearby ambient heat sources. So if you leave it next to a fire, it'll recharge a little bit faster.
Okay. How many charges does it have?
3.
3, okay. I was just checking because I'm like, I can use it a maximum of 3 times, but is that the maximum charges or is that just the maximum uses at a single point, you know?
It only goes up to 3, so like it takes 3 hours to get it all back. And you can only use up to 3.
Okay.
And extending it from normal staff mode to flail mode is that's just a bonus action. It doesn't take a use to do it. The use is only in extending it further.
Okay. So just going to that first 10 feet doesn't cost a charge.
Does not.
Okay. Oh yeah. This is cool.
So is this something that you're interested in then?
Oh yes.
Then I will just need your staff.
Okay. pulls it off his back, lays it gently onto the table because it is his staff.
Yes. She kind of leans down to pick it up and then like kind of pauses and she's like, I remember it's a great sword. So then she, quietly asks Ned, is like, Ned, could you put that inside the bag for me, please? The spider acquiesces. He picks up the staff and slowly slides it into a bag of holding that is labeled knightly weapons in like big block lettering, like the ones that you'd see on like military things that like has been like spray painted on kind of thing.
Oh, yeah,
Um,
the
and then
block lettering that he's like, it's stenciled on.
yeah. And then he like closes the bag and then pats it as she closes up the blueprint. She's like, well, I hope you enjoy your coffee. And if you could send your little bunny friend down, we can conclude this interview and he can go on to being a diplomat.
Okay. Have a good day.
Thank you, you too. Been exciting so far. I know this is kind of boring, so hopefully you've stuck around hearing about all the cool stuff I'm giving people. Got a little bit left, and then we can move on. Welcome! Hello?
Hello. So sorry.
So, as you come down to Agnes's end of the table, she has a little booster seat set up on the chair in front of her so that you can like see kind of eye to eye with her.
She's incredibly thoughtful.
Yes. She has a stack of parchment and a little ramshackle folder on top that has your name written on it alongside it in several different languages. And then next to that is 2 rolls of blueprint, like blueprint paper, like rolled up next to one another. And as you come to sit down in your boosted seat, the spider robot, whose name is Ned, hands you a cup and saucer with a cup filled with coffee that is sweetened to your preference, and it has like hazelnut and vanilla flavors and like a rather what is it? I've said it like 6 times now. Tough coffee.
Strong?
Strong. There you go. Thank you.
I wasn't here for the other 6 times, but I made an educated guess.
Yeah. You think I'd remember? I've said it so many times now.
I thank the spider profusely. Thank you for this delicious cup.
He beep boops happily and gives you like kind of chibi uwu eyes in like happiness. Dr. Agnes, she smiles at you and says, "Well, before we get started, I've got 2 questions for you. The first one is, what made you want to be a Grand Knight?"
Well, initially, my dearest friend wanted to be a Grand Knight. His name was Roger Rabbit.
Of course it was. I was expecting like Bugs Bunny, to be completely honest.
That was my uncle.
Of course it was. Says Loki Hairsworth.
Yeah, I was adopted. Yeah, so I mean, my best friend Roger, he wanted to be a Grand Knight, and I wanted to support him in that. When I turned 18, Roger he was accused of theft, and we spent like he tried to clear his name, but he was under arrest, and I spent a lot of time trying to clear his name, not being under arrest, just like trying to gather evidence. But there was this just pervasive corruption in my province, and like even after I went to the Duke and spoke with him in person, I was like kicked out, and my friend was executed unjustly for what what was accused of being a petty a petty theft. Just a merchant happened to sell, you know, some vegetables and accused him of stealing a couple, I guess because he's a rabbit. I mean, it's one of those type of deals. Um, but biggest like his biggest hope in life was to be part of the Grand Knights that would, save the world and bring joy to it, because his family kind of struggled with, you know, in Tarvis Mela, we're fortunate enough to be far away from a lot of the front lines, but his family had worked on some of the fights and stuff, and he was really dedicated to being the White Knight of Purity. And after his death, I was just, in grief, and it was a really rough time. And I decided that if someone who was, so devoted to doing the best that they could in their life couldn't get justice, that I was going to force justice. So I stole from the rich and gave to the poor, and um, tried to bring the light that he wanted to bring to people in a more direct way. Um, After a bit of doing that, I decided, you know what, maybe I could not only fix this corruption that has led to my dearest friend's death, but also honor him by becoming the Grand Knight, and that is what I have done.
And you did so with the Leonin, the Izumi. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yes, he is. Um, Roger and I were fantastic childhood friends. Izumi is now my current best friend. I mean, you can't have one best friend that's more best than another. But Izumi and I get along two peas in a pod. We've been he had um, he and I had met in our travels, and um, he 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 was part of the pod. We'd work together and bring riches and joy to those that suffered under tyranny.
Well, it sounds like very noble goals. And I'm sorry about your friend.
Thank you.
Well, my second question right now is, do you find yourself with any shortcomings in combat?
Uh, Perhaps the biggest thing is that I have always been rather good at hiding low. I think it's probably just a perk of, or perhaps a quirk rather, of being the type of person that I am. I'm small, I'm dark. It's always been easier and more efficient, especially with, stealing from the rich, and escaping from the rich. It's been easier to hide, but as the, Knight of Purity, it's very flashy. Being a knight is very flashy. So I've got glowing armor and a glowing weapon, and sometimes that makes it a bit more difficult to use the skills that I've acquired correctly or efficiently.
So what you're saying is you need something that makes you better at stabbing people stealthily.
It would be nice.
So she writes down everything that you said and then points at the two blueprints in front of her. And she points at the one on your left first and says, "This is the one that I came up with before I came in this morning. This is what I've envisioned that I thought you might need, and it might fit what you're looking for." Then she points at the third one, second one, the one on your right, and she says, "This is the one that we could do together if you decide that what I've made is not to your preference.
Okay.
Would you like to see what I've made?"
I would love to see them both.
Well, the one that we make together, it's something that we'd have to talk about later.
Oh.
Because
I'm
we have to
so sorry.
brainstorm to see what we can come up with together in case the one that I've made does not meet your higher preferences, I suppose.
Oh, I see. I've misinterpreted. I would love to see what you've made.
Okay, so she pushes the right one underneath the spider, and you see that there is a large group of other rolls of blueprints. And then she opens it up, and Ned, which is the name of the robo dude, puts his little feet on the four corners, and you can see on this blueprint is your rapier. It's a little bit different. The basket hilt has a engine augmented into it, which is where between where the blade meets the basket hilt and where the hilt or the guard meets the hilt. You see that there is like a large trigger that goes from the engine. You see that there's a little like crystal diagrammed inside of the engine, and the hilt is slightly tilted back when you trigger it, and you see that the blade would open up. The rest of it is a little bit of like jargon and like dimensions and measurements and some artificery kind of language being used. And to sum it up, without using the terrible German accent, she would essentially turn your rapier into a gun.
Ooh.
The blade would open up, and you can essentially shoot radiant energy at people.
Ooh. Very
Um,
fancy.
you, as a bonus action, you turn it from a rapier into the equivalent of a rifle for someone that's your size. Um, It has a range of 30 to 120 feet, so it's a little bit close range. The projectile is a bolt of radiant energy, doing radiant damage equal to whatever your weapon's damage is. It would now be a +1 rapier, or instead, you can use a use from your rapier's like engine to blind someone instead. They
Oh.
do a Constitution save. On a failed save, they're blinded for 3 rounds. On a successful one, nothing happens. So it has 3 uses. It regains uses from like ambient light, because the crystal that's fitted inside it is like a radiant crystal. And each time you try to blind somebody is a use. So you can use it as a gun just for free. But if you want to blind someone, that is a use from the engine.
I see. And if they are blinded, they cannot see me.
No.
Excellent.
So that is 3 people that you can blind all at once, assuming that, it's part of the attack action. So, like, if you succeed on hitting them, you can choose instead to blind them.
I see.
And since it's radiant damage, you wouldn't be able to benefit from your sneak attack unless you have advantage. So, like, if they're blinded first, for example, or they're not looking at you, and you're just like, hey, sucker, kuh.
Agnes, this looks absolutely wonderful.
This is something that you would take into battle with you then.
It is. It's fantastic.
Then I just need your rapier then.
I hand it over.
She gingerly takes it, and then between her and Ned, slowly put your rapier inside of a bag of holding that is sitting on the table. It has like a large, like stenciled block lettering, knightly weapons. When Ned finishes pushing it in, he closes it, gingerly pats the top of the bag, and she starts like packing up all of her like papers and stuff. And she says, "Well, I should be able to get all of these done within a week."
Oh, excellent. Excellent.
I have a little workshop, and as long as I'm not making what the chivalric court label as weapons of mass destruction, I can do whatever I want inside of it.
Well, I, for one, think that if, what you end up making is even half as good as the design, that I will be very, very pleased.
Well, I'm glad to hear that you are very enthusiastic about it. Next time you
Mm.
see me, we'll most likely be talking about armor.
I see.
So when you return, I will hopefully have your weapons ready, and then I will make you suits of armor.
That sounds amazing.
Well, feel free to rejoin your friends. Enjoy your coffee. I will be leaving shortly, so if you have any questions, catch me before I leave.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Huzzah! Well, we go back to the rest of the group. Give it just a moment. Discord will definitely not enjoy me going back. And also, before I do that, you get to see a little bit of the behind the scenes of... Kind of sad that Borb doesn't get to go to the homeland of his people. But hopefully... You didn't see that. You did see that, though. Yes, this is our edgelord diplomat. And then two of his friends. Ooh. There. Now I feel a little bit more prepared. Let's go back to the team.
Harold. I didn't mean it like that.
Okay.
Alright.
No. I had a back injury and I aged 50 years, so I'm gonna turn into dust. But it's okay.
Oh.
You're being serious. I forget you're actually being serious. I was gonna laugh.
No, it was a joke.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Either way, I
have a
wouldn't
back
mind.
Your
injury.
undertones are horrible, by the way.
Welcome back, Crypt.
Thanks.
Hi,
I was gonna
cryptocurrency.
say
Welcome
something,
back.
but my throat started hurting. I'm sorry.
Well, after
Crypt
your...
exists?
What?
Crypt exists?
What?
Sure do.
Yes.
It's strange,
Hi,
I know.
Crypt. How are you doing?
I'm doing okay. What are you doing?
I'm doing a D&D.
He's
Live?
surprising us with how young he is, honestly.
I don't know what they thought I was.
I thought you were an adult.
No.
That's what I thought.
Wait, I sound like
I
that?
thought you were a fully grown man.
Dude, his voice is way too high.
I don't
Wow,
know.
thanks for the
surprised.
confidence booster, man.
I thought he was like
Granted,
8.
I have like a ridiculously high voice sometimes, but
Oh yeah, your voice is pretty dang high.
Well then,
Oh, you thought he was 8?
Laugh
That's
horses,
funny.
to get us on task,
Yes, sir.
you've all had lovely little interviews with the nice gnome lady down the table, who has given each of you either coffee or hot chocolate.
Sean, dude,
you
I got
have-
some really sweet coffee. Please help.
I got the hot chocolate.
yeah.
You've all decided on a weapon that you prefer that she gave you. Izumi is the only one that won't know what his weapon is. Canonically, he knows, but personally he doesn't, because he did not deign to join us this
Oh,
evening.
that's epic.
Poor Borb did not choose what Agnes made for him, so they get to brainstorm it. He is still short a whip, though, because Agnes still needed it to brainstorm something else. They've discussed what could be, so we'll see what happens in the future. But you are essentially right now released up until the following evening. Before you wander off to do like downtime activities kind of things, Zethedramel, in the midst of teaching Sev a third language, Sev is now
Wait, he knows
fluent
more than
in
me.
two. One of those being common, the other one being
Oh wait, never mind.
Star's native language, which is Orcish.
Oh, he's talking to
I think
people.
I know 6.
He's now currently learning a third. Zethedramel looks at all of you and he takes out the ream of paper covering what your job is going to be next. And he says, "So now that you've had your conversation with the nice gnome lady down the way, this is what you'll be doing tomorrow evening." And he opens it up and it shows the title is, to be completely simple, Being Diplomats.
Do we have to be?
Yes, this is.
Like, do I have to be a diplomat?
You are a representative
I really
of your
don't
nation.
think I'd be
Oh, representatives.
good at it.
That makes sense.
So
At the end of last session, it was
Happening.
we're the only ones that don't have ulterior motives, not political wise, yada yada.
A member of a nation from across the sea has broken the blockade that surrounds Elysia, the continent we are currently on, and has deigned to provide us assistance, assuming we pass a number of tests. And as you are the representatives of each of these nations, you are the best ones for those tasks. However, you are, in more ways than one, not just a diplomat, but also a bodyguard, because this representative, once you meet him, is a representative of a very powerful country. One that can tip the tides in our favor should they design or deign to help us. So, oh hey,
Welcome,
going up-
Izumi. You have been roulette-ed.
Do you want to
I
go
went
into Asumi's meeting real quick?
welcome.
You should keep Izumi roulette-ed.
Roulade?
Is that it?
I
Roulette-ed?
went to the Michigan State game, so I just got home.
Oh, cool, man. How was
Who
it?
won?
Michigan 42-0, or 49-0.
Sweet.
My God, that was a wipeout.
That's a wipeout, yeah.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. I've never seen a game where State never scored a touchdown.
Oh, it's football.
Well, Michigan's so good this year that they're just destroying teams.
What was the number? 40, 42?
No, 42 to nothing.
49-0.
Oh, 40. 40 nothing.
49 to
My goodness.
And listen to this: the last touchdown they scored was with their second and third string players versus State's first string. Because that 5 minutes into the third quarter, it was already 42-0. Michigan took out all their starters.
That's one way to get your second and third string experience.
Yeah.
All right, back to D&D. Do you want to go into Azumi's meeting with him real quick?
Sure. We were doing interviews with Dr. Agnes about the weapon upgrades that she's going to give everybody. I've done everybody so far, and you're the only one that I haven't done. So if you'd like,
Wait, never mind. You did
no,
first.
Azumi's the last one. If you'd like, we can go into the other voice channel and role play it between you and Dr. Agnes.
Okie dokie.
Okay, so we'll be right back. He's instantaneous that time. Well, hello.
Well, hello.
Go ahead and bring your token down to where Dr. Agnes is sitting down this way.
I gotta load that.
Okay,
I'm a little behind.
that's okay. You're only, an hour and 53 minutes late. But it's okay. We won't hold it against you.
I didn't even know if I was going to be able to make it.
I'm surprised that you showed up to begin with, to be honest. I'm sorry.
Oh, you went robotic, so I said, uh-oh.
Oh, sorry.
That's all right.
Might have just been because you were loading
So, where is my... So, my character's here.
in.
Yeah.
Yeah. So as you go down to that last table, she is sitting there with a stack of parchment on your left, her right, and on top of it is like a ramshackle folder that has your full name written across it, alongside the same thing written in like multiple different languages. And directly between you and her is 2 rolls of blueprint paper. And as you come to sit down, the spider bot Ned hands you a steaming cup and saucer of your homeland's favorite tea, and it is sweetened up to your character's preference.
Awesome. I take a sip and ask for fish.
The spider looks a little
No
bit
fish.
uncertain, and then kind of scampers down the table, grabs the very large fish on the buffet table, and brings it over to you, while also like cooking it again, so it's warm when he hands it to you.
Awesome. I take a bite and so what are we doing?
So she gives you a big grin and says, "Before I show you what I've worked on, before I showed up here this morning, I have 2 questions for you. The first one is, why did you want to become a Grand Knight?"
To steal from the rich and give to the poor.
As a Grand Knight?
Just kidding. That was my past life.
Uh,
What I really meant to say is to protect the people from evil.
any kind of evil or any kind of specific evil?
From those who choose to harm others. So, I guess, demons and chaotic creatures.
Okay.
Other evil creatures.
For my second question, do you find yourself having any shortcomings in combat?
You see that I'm big, right?
You sure do.
I have teeth and claws, 2 swords. My swords aren't magical. I would like magical swords.
Well, I am a scientist, so while I cannot make them magical, I can make them do something extraordinary. She writes down everything that you just said, and then points at the 2 blueprints in front of you. She points at the one on your left and says, "This one is one I made before I showed up this morning. So it's one that I've designed to what I think you might like." And then she points at the one on your right and says, "This is the one that we can make together, if you decide that the one I made is not to your preference." Would you like to know what I've made?
Yes, I would.
So she pushes back the other blueprint, and you see that there's like a stack underneath the spider guy. She unrolls it, and the Ned, the spider robot, puts his little feet down to hold down each of the corners, and you see on it is your pair of katanas, like the one that's slightly shorter than the other one. You see that they've been outfitted with a little engine, where the guard is on each one, is like where the blade joins the haft of your katanas. They are pretty much the same, except that there's now a trigger that leads to the engine that has a little arcane crystal set into it, And you can see designed on the blades is like a network of veins that go from the base of the blade up to the very tip. And there's like this kind of like, I don't want to say tube, but like a little bit cut out of the middle that shows a kind of flaming interior of the blades. You can, as a part of a attack action, you can trigger the trigger on both of your katanas and can coat the blades in the liquid magma that kind of comes out of the like veins on each blade. The magma is only really good for when you try to make a ranged attack with it. In place of a normal melee attack action, you can instead make a ranged attack with a range of 30 to 120 feet against your target. On a success, they take your weapons damage and fire damage. They are then lit on fire for your weapons damage at the start of their turn and can share the fire with any nearby enemies that fail a dexterity save if they are within 5 feet of the original target.
That would be very, very useful.
And since you have 2 attack actions and you can use your bonus action, you can do that pretty much for each weapon. It does use a charge to coat them in magma. You can't make melee strikes with it. It only is only really useful to fling it at people essentially. If you use it too many times without flicking it off, the blades will get a little bit damaged. Otherwise, think of it as the sword bolts that Kilcorn can do in our Friday night campaign.
Okay.
Except in this case, you're throwing lava at people with your cool katanas.
Kind of like that. That'll be useful on when I ride Kyrie.
So you can use that. Kyrie, it's, well, as long as you're Kasai. There you go. As long as you're within 30 feet of the big dude you're trying to hit with them, you'll definitely do a pretty good job since it'll set them on fire too.
What's the damage?
It's your weapons damage. So in this case, 1d8 plus 1. It's a plus 1 weapon now.
Okay. That sounds really useful. What could we make together?
Well, if you think that throwing magma at people is not enough, what do you think would fill in any gaps in what you can currently do?
What if I wanted to move faster?
Well, that would be more of like an armor kind of thing.
Okay.
Because we can discuss that for your armor upgrade, because I intend to make everybody suits of armor as well. It's just the weapons come first. But if you need a mobility option, I can certainly work on that for your armor. But for your weapons, it's more of a filling in any combat gaps. You're primarily melee. This gives you a little bit of a ranged option.
I actually like the option. What you came up with is very good. The only thing I could say is, as a melee upfront fighter, is just something that can do more damage, but the ranged option is good when I'm on the back of Kasai.
Yeah. So if you're comfortable with the upgrade to your weapons, I just need your weapons now.
I take out both my katanas and hand them to you.
She gently takes them from you, and with the help of her little spider buddy, because she is just a gnome, and you're a lot bigger than most people. To her, she's like carrying the equivalent of like a great sword in her hand. Um, they both stuff your katanas rather gently into a bag of holding that is labeled with like the large kind of military stenciled block lettering of knightly weapons. And as the last katana goes in, the spider closes it up and like I don't want to say latches, but like ties it all up and seals it. And she says, "Well, I hope you enjoy your tea. You're the last one I needed to speak with. So if you've got any questions, I will be leaving shortly. You can always catch me before I leave."
When do we start with the armor upgrades?
I will have your weapons finished for you at the end of this week. So the next mission you'll be going on, which is being a diplomat to a foreign power, I will have them done by the time you're finished with that, and then we will talk about armor upgrades at that point.
I have a question.
Sure.
What if, even though the range would be useful, and I know I can use my night power to turn into flames, is there any way that you could increase that ability instead of creating a ranged option? Like maybe most katanas turn into magma, like a stronger powered, maybe does more damage than fire, but the fire is also added, but they still get the dex save. So when I'm attacking with my katanas, everybody within a 5-foot radius has to make a dex save, something like that.
Well, as you grow as a knight, your weapon abilities will grow. Uh, for all I know, the next time your power is achieved, your weapons may turn into magma too. So you could have magma on top of your magma. It is entirely up to you when your weapon ability upgrades. Uh, Mechanically speaking, I believe it is at level 10 that you add an extra dice when you activate your weapon ability.
Okay. Now, I know I do fire damage. What if I wanted to do radiant damage as well?
That would have to be a number of intent dice to. You'll probably have to do it when you level up again, or not level up, but when you get to the point where your weapon upgrade or your weapon ability upgrades. Um, Let me see when that happens. I think it's level 10. But what you can probably do is with a couple of intent dice, assuming that you succeed, because you generally need 3 successes to get your weapon to change, or like your weapon, or like any of your knightly abilities to change. So so it's 15th. At 15th level, it goes up to 2 extra die of fire damage, and at 20th, you gain 3 extra die. So level 15, you could essentially ask for that second dice to be radiant instead of fire.
So I would be doing fire and radiant damage at that point.
Yes.
At the same time. That actually would be pretty cool. All right.
So you would need to spend at least 3 sessions worth of intent die to change that for the future.
Do I roll now? Or
you can roll now if you'd like, or you can wait until we're like more out in the field where you can use like a downtime activity to try to do that.
Yeah, let's wait.
Okay.
That way we can get going with everybody else.
Okay. So unless you have any more questions for Dr. Agnes, you can go ahead and put your token where everybody else is.
Alrighty. Wow. Thank you for creating more powerful weapons for me, Ember Glow. It was nice to meet you.
You're welcome, Mr. Izumi. Enjoy your tea, and feel free to come find me if you have any more questions. You or your friends.
I will, and you have yourself a great day.
You too.
Alright, welcome back, dudes.
Hello!
Hello.
We return. So now that Mr.
Oh,
Izumi knows what he's going to be getting, um,
Oh, is he getting like a cool like samurai sword where he can like go on the ground and then like he like kneels on the ground and after he like kneels on the ground he like teleports to like a forwards
Gotcha.
location.
no.
I need to cut through mountain.
Oh, cool. I thought you were gonna get like some sort of like thing like that, like a stereotypical like samurai thing.
I forgot to ask for something in particular.
Okay.
Just act straight in the DC so we don't have to take the time.
Yeah.
Now?
I guess.
Okay, I wanted. Do you know how my sword's big?
Yeah.
Should be bigger than a. So I was wondering if I can do an extra 1d6 damage with it.
Not normally. You'd have to turn on your weapon buff to get that extra d6, and then when you get to 15th and 20 levels, turns into 2d6 and then 3d6. So you'd be doubling your damage essentially.
Oh, okay.
So you'll have to wait a little bit before it does extra.
Okay. I meant like slicing damage.
Well, it can only do so much because it is just a sword, even if it
Okay.
is a fancy sword.
Super big.
Oh god off.
So, now that we're done with that, your next mission will take you to Ioswin, which is kind of sad that Borb had to leave because this is his homeland. You will be meeting with the diplomat from overseas, who you will then convince to help you by doing not necessarily a series of tasks, but essentially proving the worth of this country. Before you do that, you will need to get out your fanciest of fancy duds to put on a good first impression.
Do suits exist in this?
You will have culturally relevant fancy clothes. So for Loki, that'll be like the nicest tunic, pants, and if Loki wears shoes, then whatever that is. And you each
Shoeless.
okay. So you each have a cloak that has your nation's emblem on it and is colored in your knightly color. So Loki would have a white cloak with a clasp of the chivalric order on it and the emblem of Tarvis Mela on it. Fraxstone will have a green one with Nehu Torum's. Izumi will have a red cloak with Zalashtar's emblem on it. Star will have a blue cloak with Ephraim's emblem on it. Barbaros will have a black cloak with Aclaria's emblem on it.
Okay.
Borb will have a pink one, and Finn will have a yellow one with Krujan's emblem on it.
Question.
Huh.
Do they like have hoods?
Yes.
Alright. Then can Finn also wear like a mask to conceal his face?
No.
Alright. Just wondering.
So like culturally relevant, like fancy attire, be kind of the same for Fraxstone, which is like fancy tunic, maybe like a cool belt and a pair of pants, and any like jewelry you have, because in that kind of culture, that's like a show of power, even though you are a magic user, which is a little bit strange for them. For Izumi, that's like a kimono with like all the fancy like floral designs and stuff on it. You get to have a knife with you at least. That is like the limit of weaponry that Zalashtar culture would allow you to have in a formal engagement. I think pretty much everybody will be allowed to at least have a knife.
Can I have my
Can I ask
shuriken?
Finn for his dagger? Because I'm pretty sure I gave him my other dagger.
You can take your dagger from Sev.
No, I don't have. I don't have.
have
my
my
daggers
dagger.
too.
I should still have my trick dagger on me, right?
You can have a butterfly knife as your dagger.
Can I
Yeah,
use side?
I'll ask Sev. Can I borrow his knife or his dagger?
Yeah, sure. And he like flips it in a very dramatic way before he like hands it to you like hilt first.
A tear
The
is gonna come in
flare.
as I say
Yes.
I'm very proud of him.
She's like, I did that on accident.
I am still proud of you.
You are naturally fabulous.
Yes.
I have a question.
Sure.
I don't use daggers. I have shurikens and sides. So can I use?
You'd have like a decorative dagger that you would wear in formal occasions um, as a samurai.
All right.
You need to wear that either on your hip or at the small of your back.
It's a ring that has your
Starf
either
prefers
your
to keep this in
family
his boot
symbol
if he can.
or your nation symbol on it.
Okay.
You'd have to keep it at your hip because it is like a ceremonial kind of thing, especially as a culture of like Greco-Roman, because you'd have like the ornate kind of tunic and then like the big kind of like toga kind of sash thing that would come across.
Okay, I'm okay with that.
I have a question. Since I'm pretty big, would my dagger look more like a short sword?
To everyone, including Loki, that would look like a short sword. To you, that is a dagger.
Anyway, so
I would like to point out it would not look like a short sword to me. I'm only slightly shorter than he is.
I say, and I'm like 6 foot something, but that's beyond the
he
point.
he has big hands because he's like 8 feet tall.
Yeah, I'm 7'7", 377 pounds.
He's a chonky boy.
Oh goodness.
My God.
Jeez, that is big.
Never mind then.
Yeah, it looks like a short sword to everybody. Just because he's got like big hands. For Barbaros, you already kind of know what the fancy duds look like. It's like the overly decorative like tunic and like weird kind of jacket that we've already discussed. You still get the knife out to your hip. It could be the butterfly knife if you want. It'll just be kind of weird, not like a social faux pas, but like just it's not a normal knife, but I mean it works. For Borb, that's just wearing what a bird person would wear. They're Aztec, so like tunic that like goes down quite a ways. I don't even know if they wear pants. I'd have to ask Borb for next session. For Finn, if this was your homeland, you just have like the metal torque that would like go over like your chest and stuff. You'd have like bracelets and rings, some kind of like headgear, and like a I don't want to call it a skirt, but you'd essentially be bare chested, and like you'd be wearing like tall sandals. You're not. You're going to be instead of a dry hot environment, you're going to be in a humid hot environment. So you can go shirtless if you want, or you can wear it like a tunic.
I'm gonna go ahead and wear it like a tunic.
Okay. Go ahead.
And
Oh yeah.
so like I can only take my my dagger But can it take my trick knife? I have a wrist mounted Assassin's Creed knife.
How did you get that?
Can it take that? Don't you remember a while ago when we fought the first Beastman that we fought together? Uh, Loki gave me a opened a chest and she tossed it to
Oh,
me.
right. It's a wrist mounted. Yeah, you can wear that. I just need you to do a stealth check for me. See if you can like
Sure.
hide it
Now
underneath your sleeve. Yeah.
I would like another one. I will buy it.
That is
Alright.
not something
Where's
that's
my
going to be
stealth?
like available on the commercial market.
I'm finding my stealth. Found it.
What who's gonna win?
I'd say that's enough. You're able to slide it into your sleeve, and so that you could use it should you need it.
Nice.
Do I have
Now
to
I have.
try
So
to
I
do a
got two
stealth
knives
check
with
for?
me. I have one on my hip and one on my wrist, right?
Yes. You don't need to hide the other one because that's the ceremonial one.
Right. Just wanted to make sure.
I get you. What are you trying to say, Frackstone?
Because I don't have my spell focus, which was my staff. Would I have to do a stealth check to see if I could hide like a component pouch or something? Just
Nah,
so
you
I
can
have.
keep that on you. That's
Okay.
something that they would allow because you're a spellcaster. And
Okay. Just making sure.
it's either that or have another staff, and they're not going to let you have another staff, so you have a component pouch.
Okay. Just making sure, because visible weapons. Technically, a component pouch is considered a visible weapon.
Sure is. But it's better to
And
have that than having a large, encumbering quarterstaff.
Okay.
In their mind, at least.
Can I also ask a question?
I thought
Sure.
that was your nightly weapon.
Wait, what?
He gave away his staff to get upgraded. You can get another one to use as an arcane focus. It just takes a little bit of time to work it into like the equivalent of an attunement. What were you trying to say, Finn?
All right. So two things. Am I able to like have a dagger on me?
Yeah, everybody's
Alright.
allowed to at least have a dagger.
All right. And then the second thing, would it be all right if Finn just like stuffed like 6 sharpened sticks in his pocket?
Do a stealth check.
All right, because I'm just saying, I always stay strapped with the sticks for spike growth. Stealth check?
Yes.
Oh, I have a 7 in that.
I'd say that's enough. You're able to trim down the sticks small enough that they fit inside of your pocket without like stabbing you should you ever have to like bend over and stuff, and are small enough that they don't like stick out and are immediately noticeable.
I am so happy.
So unless any of you has some downtime activity, we can get immediately into it into the following evening.
I just play with that and then I head to bed.
Word.
Finn's just going to drink milk and then go to bed.
Nerd.
He's also going to try to like stick his hand down Rolf's throat, see like what's down there.
Zetedramel is going to gently stop you before you do that, and he says,
"Oh man,
don't stick your hand in a strange, bottomless goat's mouth.
Why not? There could be like treasure in there."
You might not get your hand back, son.
Alright, then I'll just use my left hand.
The point still stands. Find something else to do, my good sir.
Alright,
Did you ever figure out how he got it out of your pocket?
He just glares at Rolf and says, no. And I am increasingly concerned about it.
Has anything else appeared?
Not so much appeared, but disappeared, yes. And he like points, and you can actually see where some of the crystal and like the growth behind him has been like gnawed on and chunks of missing, and you can actually see Rolf going as he's just gnawing on like rock.
Oh, dude, does that taste good?
And he's just meh.
Finn's going to go ahead and try to chip off a part of his dagger to try and eat it.
Since your teeth aren't designed to eat metal, you kind of give yourself a sore jaw.
Finn is still going to swallow it.
Do a Constitution save.
Sir, yes, sir. Con. Oh god, I have a 1 in con.
No. It immediately gets stuck in your throat. Does anyone know a Heimlich maneuver?
I should.
Medicine check?
Yeah,
I'm pretty
have
sure I also know Heimlich.
whoever wants to do a medicine check can try to give him a Heimlich.
Honestly, can I just punch him in his gut, trying to get him to puke it?
Nah, Frax don't beat you to it. You Heimlich the shit out of him. And not only do you cough up the shard of dagger that got stuck in your throat, you also feel marginally better. Whatever that weird tickle in the back of your throat is gone now.
Oh, thanks, dude.
Now suplex him.
That really did taste good. It tasted like cotton candy. Wait, what's cotton candy?
Suplex the fuck out of him.
I'm tempted.
I'm just gonna do a world, like, jump off the table and world star Finn. I'm kidding, by the way. I'm not gonna do this.
I can give him the people's elbow.
That's not WWE in your eating room.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
Could the
Oh,
can the palace create? Can the palace create rooms for certain tasks?
You'd have to give him like a year to grow it.
Ew. Never mind then.
Yeah, it's a slow process. So you gotta
Crystals are
cultivate
not
the
bad.
crystal first, and then put the crystal in a specific area, then cultivate it some more, then put it. Yeah, it's a timely process, and only Zethedramel can do it because he's the only caretaker of the castle left, other than the little crystal dudes that wander around.
It'd be a good idea to give Sev his own room.
He has his
We
own
already
room.
We discussed this. Sev
Made
has a
his room
subsection
in
of
his
my
room.
room in which I can't go into.
Dude, you know what kind of room we should get?
Remember the claustrophobic thing I mentioned
It's pretty.
earlier?
It is a big subsection of my room.
Yeah,
It is a subsection
it's
of
like
my
a
room that I cannot enter. Granted, once the castle makes a new room, because that takes a year, he can have his own room.
Haha.
Till then, the kid has to have somewhere.
So we'll move on to the
How do
next
you
day.
feel?
I'm sorry. What were you asking, Zev? Hello?
I'm asking
Yes.
Gills about the situation. Hello?
You were cutting in and out there.
Okay. I was asking Sev if he could. Wait, I was asking Sev if how he feels about the room situation.
It's like, well, if it's gonna take a year to give me my own room, I can wait. I've spent the last 11 in a hospital bed, so I'm
We
fine.
should take you on like an adventure with us.
That'd be
You're
dangerous.
not putting my child in harm's way. Anyways.
You can go hang out with my sister.
Chill, dude.
They're the same
We can eat more
age.
strawberries.
Yeah. They're the same age. They can go spend time together. Socialization's a good thing.
Yeah. Plus, who
Uh,
knows? He might be a hit with the ladies.
Oh, he is spooky
small.
as fuck to anyone that he meets. This kid
He's
has
probably a lady killer, right?
that he's like
Would that bother her?
well, he's like got that haunted look to him. Like the picture that I have for his token is entirely what his face looks like. He has
Who's the lady?
the meanest, like, resting bitch face.
We just gotta make sure that that doesn't turn into a serial killer.
Sean, dude.
He
Focus
knows
on an
as much
actual
as a
lady.
doctor knows about, like, biology at this point.
Yeah, meaning
That's a little
not
frightening.
Yeah.
You
would
I
make
don't
sure
even
that
know
he
about
doesn't turn into a
biology.
serial killer by letting him socialize.
Well, right now he's getting teached.
He's getting taught right now.
Uh-huh.
We're trying to get him
Right.
we'll get him reacquainted to society.
We should set up like play dates for him and Barbara.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was saying.
You could do that as like
Yeah.
a downtime activity in the future.
That'll be a downtime activity in the
Yeah.
future.
Yeah.
Okay, so
We don't need to be present.
So we move on to the next day. You have been given all of the following day to get ready. And when you step outside to go on the teleporter, which Sev in this case is not here. Okay, Frackstone. We'll tell you what happened next week. Feel better.
Bye, man. Feel better.
why is it that somebody's constantly sick?
Because
Multiple people are always
bad
Because
luck.
there's a lot of us.
Is there a lot of us? There's 1, 2, 3, 4,
There's
5.
7 players.
I will reach through this
Hey.
computer and slap you, Fed.
Crypt doesn't count.
Nope.
This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of us. So there's 7 of us.
Bruh.
It's still considered a lot. Okay, then
What happened to the other guy?
Whoops.
you have to leave.
Yeah.
They have to leave.
So when you go outside to step on the teleporter, you are in all of your fanciest clothing. This is stuff that you haven't worn since you were knighted as Grand Knights 2 years ago. It's a little bit dusty, but it still fits, even though you've had good food between then and now. This is probably the fanciest you've felt for quite a while. And it's one of those, like, you don't want to scuff your shoes kind of things. That kind of fancy. If we were to equate it into modern terms, you're all wearing tuxedos. At least the equivalent of one.
Purple one then?
I'm sorry?
We're looking good.
Can I have a purple one then? Never mind, I'm yellow. Okay.
Yeah, you don't get purple. Besides which, that's the color of royalty, so no one gets purple.
Oh,
There isn't even a purple knight?
No.
No.
Yeah, so you step onto the teleporter thingamajig, and that will bring you to your destination.
Please don't get blinded again. Please don't get blinded again. Please don't get blinded again.
do you need me to cover your eyes?
Please do.
I'll cover your eyes for you.
The
Thanks, I really appreciate it.
teleporter beneath you flashes into light. You are engulfed in this brilliant pink column of light, and then you find yourselves in a rather well-kept stone building. It is cool inside, despite the fact that the door, like the doorway in front of you, it has no coverings over it. To your right, since you are facing this way when you teleport in, there is a nice Aarakocra wearing a kind of mixture of like Tarvis Melon clothes and Ioswinian clothes, sitting behind a large table with a roll of like silk parchment in front of them. To your left is a large group of Aarakocra and Kanku arguing in their native language, with the Kanku just kind of, repeating what most of them are saying as part of their arguments. The Aarakocra sitting behind the table looks up as the flash of teleporter light lights up the room. They stand up and gently bow as they notice you and says, "Welcome to Ioswin. happy to see you show up. We understood that you were going to show up this evening. If you have any questions, I can certainly handle that for you. Otherwise, there is a member of some weird organization at this other table over here that has apparently been waiting for you. It points
What?
over here.
Aw, dude, thanks. Also, you look amazing, man.
Thanks.
You really rocking that outfit.
It's like a mixture of cultures. I'm trying to, be kind of hip and modern with the other cultures that show up in our headquarters here.
Aw, dude, you're doing a really good job at it.
Thanks. My wife spent a lot of time figuring out how to make all these colors work.
Oh, well, that time didn't go to waste. He's gonna kind of walk over to Star close enough to whisper in his ear. Is mentioning fried chicken bad here? I'm not gonna lie, I have a craving for fried chicken.
I mean, they probably eat meat.
Finn directly in his eyes and whisper to him in a real low voice. Make sure that only Finn can hear me.
Okay.
If you do not shut your mouth, I will put the tape on it and will not take it off until we get back to the base. And God
What
knows
are you, my
how
dad?
long that's gonna be.
You, my dad.
I'm gonna whisper in Finn's other ear and tell him it's a delicacy. It's the
It
most
is?
common food here.
Is it really?
Whisper.
No.
Hey,
Okay.
It is something that they eat, but that's neither here nor there.
They ever? Alright.
they basically only eat bird. Don't think about it.
Do a deception check for me.
Are we rolling that against Finn's natural perception?
Barbaros is.
It's Finn's natural perception.
Okay.
Let's hear against your
Deception.
charisma
Charisma
score.
Rah.
Finn, you do not believe that. It is it was close enough that you're that could be right, but then you look at all of these bird people and you're like, it's probably something that they eat, but it's not necessarily a delicacy.
Trust me,
Oh,
bro.
dude.
You've seen Borb eating bird.
I
You've seen bird
thought that
eating-
was just a cannibalism thing.
We're being bird. She's a bird. He's a bird themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Other
that's why I
birds
thought that was
eat
a
birds.
cannibalism thing.
Man,
Hawks
Yeah,
eat small
I forgot
birds.
about
you've seen this
ospreys and other.
firsthand. How do you
I
not believe
thought-
me, bro?
I thought Board was just a cannibal.
Anyway,
Board was just a cannibal.
there is a member of the library waiting for you over here.
I'm just going to go ahead and just walk right on up and sit right next to him. Shaw, dude, what's up?
It is an owlin in this case, who just kind of
I'll be right back.
turns his head and is just like, I'm doing okay. I had nice tea this morning, and then got told I have to debrief you about the diplomat waiting for you inside of the ziggurat. Otherwise, just kind of chilling.
Oh yeah, understandable. I was just kind of vibing around eating fried chicken.
He's like, fried chicken's delicious.
Oh yeah, it really is. I love it so much. But I was eating fried chicken, drinking some milk. Then apparently we have to go on this diplomatic mission, and I am horrible at diplomatic stuff. I would rather fight than talk,
Yeah, I can feel that.
A little nervous here, Better with my hands than my words. Well, a bow.
Ooh,
Who left?
That's 2 beeps.
welcome back,
Who else left?
I think anybody left.
Andy.
Can you hear me now?
Yes,
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I'm back.
welcome back.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
So I'll wait for everybody else to put their tokens around where the librarian is.
Okay.
Back.
Around the librarian, you said?
Yeah, he's over here.
Where the Arakoka guy is?
I think I took a walk in the garden.
Okay.
Wait, we're going to the guy with the
Walking in
Arakoka
front?
or the table?
The table that Finn is currently sitting at.
Okay, thank you.
It was a nice garden.
It was. There's a lot of don't worry about it. Barbaros, you want to put your token there?
Everything's loading.
Okay.
Oh yeah. You might want to refresh one.
Refresh.
Yeah, because is it just like the black screen where it's just saying that like a whole lot of different stuff's loading?
Yeah.
Yeah, refresh. It isn't actually loading.
Dang.
Figure that one out after like 10 minutes straight of just looking at it.
Oh yeah, it's been loading for a while, and I didn't have the patience to look at it, so I went to different tabs.
Yeah. So like, do we all have to do diplomatic stuff, or like?
You are a representative of your nation, so I would assume you have to do quote unquote diplomating stuff.
All right.
Don't. I'll represent his nation. Don't. He's good.
You're not a member of his nation though, so you
Yeah,
can't be a
no, dude.
representative.
Are you able to like read off a script or something? Cause
No, you just have to
oh,
be as elfy as you can be if you want to put it into
Alright.
terms like that.
all right, I'll gladly do that.
To be fair with you, in Orcish culture, we fight to see who's going to be the leader, so we're not necessarily diplomatic to say.
I mean, you are a patrician nation. You are the only republic. So diplomating things and having like arguments and talks about things is also part of your culture.
Okay.
I think Orb is the character that's most charisma based.
I mean, my character has I think a +4 in charisma and I have a 16 naturally.
I have a +5 in charisma.
You have a
Oh,
plus
no,
5 in
I have a
charisma?
2. I have a 2. I have a
Okay.
+7 in dex. My bad.
I have a +4 in charisma.
I was going to say, wait, how is your charisma that high? I have a +4 in charisma, but I have an 18.
I just have a 2.
How do you have a +7 in dex?
I am dexterous.
That's like a 24 dex.
He's talking
Oh,
about
no,
the
that's a
next
19.
roll.
Oh, he's talking about his deck save.
Oh wait, is that something different?
Yeah.
Oh, it says I have a 4 in dex. My bad.
Yeah. Not to say.
Yeah, that's a 4 plus your
Like if it comes to persuasion or performance, I roll a +7 for both.
So
I'm
you're the
good at
talker
acrobatics.
while Borb is not here.
Okay,
I have
what do
a
I need to speak
+4
about again?
charisma.
Sorry.
So, the Owlin, wearing like the gray robes and hood, who looks like he is not having a great time in the oppressive weather outside, unrolls a roll of parchment, and it kind of like travels across the table, and he says, "So, to keep this brief, so you can go on and meet the person who is currently waiting for you, there's a number of rules that you need to follow as a equivalent of a first contact scenario. We've of course met this individual. They had to meet us to, land here in Ioswind. But you will be the first higher-ranking diplomats to meet him. He has asked us only 3 things. The first thing is that, regardless of who you meet from his culture, before you meet him, don't talk to them until you finish your conversation with him. And he kind of
talk to them.
he like looks at each of you like pretty much in your eye and he says, "That's the only one that I am required to enforce." To give you some elaboration on this, he is accompanied by 2 members of. He tried to explain it to me, but I wasn't paying attention very well. They're essentially his culture's version of spellcasters. They are his personal guard. but they are secretive until he brings you up to speed about what they are.
Or are they like necromancers or
So
something?
we're not allowed to. We're allowed to ask him about them.
Yes, but don't talk to them until after you've spoken to him.
Oh.
Okay. Do you mind taking us to meet him if we're
Talk
done
to
with
their
this?
boss before you talk to them.
Yes,
I don't.
essentially. The second rule is that don't ask stupid questions.
Oh.
He might not consider them stupid, but you're not there to waste his time, and he's not there to waste your time. You are there to prove your worth. And by your worth, the worth of your patron nations. So keep that in mind.
Okay.
And the last one is if you have any questions about his nation, feel free to ask, but he is on a one-to-one basis. If you ask a question about his country, he gets to ask a question about yours.
Okay.
And while that wouldn't necessarily sound like a bad thing, he did say that he might have some probing questions, so you might have to give a good thought as to what you're going to tell him. I wouldn't necessarily say lie, but use your better judgment if you think that he doesn't need to know about something.
Oh, dude.
Do you have any questions for me?
No.
Okay.
How
no.
are we supposed to? Oh, you can go first.
Oh,
You, Barbaros.
I just said no.
Okay.
Oh, okay, my bad. I thought you were gonna ask. All right. How are we supposed to know like who his bodyguards are?
You'll know. And he points at Azumi and he says, they're going to be taller than him.
That's impossible.
Oh, you can be taller than that?
As far as I am aware, all of their species ranges between 9 feet and 10 feet in height.
That's twice my size.
Well, I'm getting new swords soon. We'll have to cut them down to size.
Well, they're not
John,
enemies,
dude.
so don't cut them.
Oh,
I was just joking.
oh,
Kinda.
yeah, we were joking. Finn's going to like kind of like lower his dagger back into his pocket.
The Alan just kind of like gives you a once over. It's like, please don't draw your weapon on him.
I'm sorry.
Thank you.
All right. Also,
Speaking of swords, I'm thirsty for a new sword. I'm gonna. This can be
where's
hard.
Corin?
Oh shit, where is Corin?
All right, that's what I thought of when I heard paladin. Or is she a cleric?
She's a cleric.
Okay, yeah, my bad.
She'll be over here.
She's not gonna sit with us.
No, because she's not part of the group. She's just your chaperone.
So like, I don't really like this idea, but I tend to ask a lot of dumb questions naturally, so I hate the idea, but I think he might have to like duct tape me. He's gonna like
Why don't you
put
just?
his head down, like look down and like rub the back of his head.
You
Why
hear?
don't you just ask one of us if it's a dumb question first?
Oh yeah, that's a good idea. All right.
What were you trying to say, Azumi?
You hear Azumi take the duct tape out of his pocket, and you hear the sound when you pull it long, and it's right around his head, and it flips. It's like that, just like that.
I feel as though magical duct tape on one of our members' mouths will lead to a certain impression that we might not be prepared to handle.
What? That I like BDSM or something?
You can't speak. You got duct tape on your mouth.
We taped his mouth.
Yeah, Azumi did.
Thank you, Azumi.
I think Barbaro's suggestion of Finn applying a modicum of self-control and volume restraint by asking one of us instead is probably the best solution. Who volunteers to babysit him? Someone with low charisma.
We'll do it.
Oh, Barb.
Thank you, Barbaros. Your sacrifice will not be in vain.
Don't worry, I'll pay you handsomely for this later.
In IOUs.
Barb, do you have duct tape just in case?
I got it.
The only wait, hold up.
Everybody
Yeah,
got a roll except Finn.
No. I had 3 rolls in particular. I gave one to I gave one to Loki and then one to somebody else. I can't remember.
I think it was Celestial.
Yeah, Zumi.
Who?
Yeah. So Azumi, Bunny, Azumi and I have duct tape. So I'm gonna give Barb my roll to borrow in case it's needed. Since he's signed up for babysitting.
I could rip the tape off real fast.
Okay.
Yeah, we can't let him grow a mustache.
Finn's going to like kind of like jump up and like hold his hands out like no.
Alright, let's go meet the person.
Okay.
I still hear some
Rip the
echoes.
duct
Might
tape
be another
off.
piece.
Keep doing all that grunting and
As
I'll put
we're
some over
walking
your
away,
chest.
I'm gonna be like carefully removing the duct tape, but since I'm so small, I have to like jump up and rip a little bit at a time.
You know that is a torture technique, right?
I was gonna rip it off as part of it.
Well, Finn hasn't like leaned down to make it easy for me, so this is the best I can do.
You have to wait. How tall is Bunny?
Loki's a bunny.
I'm like 3 foot tall on a good day.
Finn is 5 foot tall.
That's including the ears, right?
True.
Yeah, like 3 foot with my ears and like 2'4" without.
Oh, okay. Finn
I'm like half your size, bro. Get down here.
Finn's going to like kneel down.
Excellent. I rip it off.
Do a con save for me, Finn.
But gently on the mustache hairs.
Did he?
There you go. When Loki rips off the tape, Loki's careful enough, and you don't like jerk back that you still have whatever's left of your mustache sitting on your upper lip. Except that you're an elf, so this is all in your head.
Yeah.
And it's the mental concept of a mustache.
Yes.
But elves don't have facial hair. So.
Nope.
Thank you for
I
watching.
was just, being cautious of his mental health.
And then when Loki turns, I put another piece just on over his lips. I don't know what happened.
Weird. Do a sleight of hand for me.
Oh, okay. I guess.
Can I try to like compete against it?
Nope. Remember, this stuff is magical. It does whatever it needs to do.
Does anybody?
But
this one isn't going all around your head. It's just over your lips.
My passive is 14.
Okay. So does it? Anyone have a higher passive perception than 14?
Passive perception? Where do I check that?
My passive perception is lower than 14.
Oh, 7. Oh, wait. Yeah, 17.
Mine's 15.
Mine's 17. Can I just dodge out the way since mine's is 17?
Nah, you catch him in the act of putting it on, but because it's designed to go on your mouth, you can't dodge.
Oh, really? I can't, like, move to the side?
No, it's Loki and you are the only ones that spot him putting it on. Everybody else is just like, oh, hey, weird.
I'll rip it off as hard as I can.
And look to Loki and be like, you missed a spot.
So as you are fighting about who is going to duct tape poor Finn's mouth, you step outside into the sweltering heat that is Ioswin. It is a tropical rainforest with a road that goes down the middle. You're currently on the major highway that goes through the capital city of Ioswin, which is known as the city of Jarsu, which is also known as the Eye of the Gods, because it is a giant, fertile land. You see that there are trees going off in every direction. You see that there are houses in every direction. and there's a large bridge that crosses the river across from you. Um, you see that there are boats going back and forth, birds flying all over the air, all of them in beautiful different colors. What pops out the most for you are these tall towers that you can see the Aarakocra and Owlin using as places to land as they're flying. Because despite the fact that most everyone here is a um, flying race, the Kenku can't fly. So all of the houses here are designed with the Kenku in mind. So there's no like perches and stuff for the flying species to land, so they use these towers to do so. The next thing that takes up a lot of your vision is to the north of you is a massive ziggurat. This takes up a lot of the like skyline for you. Um, it's made out of a gray stone. It looks like each piece is made up of like a single stone because you can't see like any minor details in it telling you if it's made out of multiples or not. Perhaps it was just chiseled out of one really big one. You don't really know. You do see that the exterior is covered in like vines and mossy growths, but the interior of it, from the very large open causeway that goes through the middle, that like up like a set of stairs, all of that is well kept. There's like people going up and down the stairs. There's people going back and forth across the bridge, all over the road that you're currently walking on. It's a very busy time and a very busy place. And you can see across the river from you is a market. The librarian leads you towards the ziggurat. And as you travel up the stairs, you are brought to the interior of the ziggurat. There's a little fountain just in front of you. Is it dark? Okay, it is not.
Am I
Okay.
allowed to buy a sword?
Not at the moment.
Ah, damn it.
You will have to wait until you are done with your current mission.
This mission's gonna be hard, guys.
It sure is.
Oh.
The librarian leads you inside. He stops at the fountain and says, "Well, this is where I leave you. Keep the 3 rules in mind, and you should be okay." He points towards a lonely Aarakocra down the way who's like wearing um, like a floral like tunic with like pieces of like leaves and plant life hanging off of the sleeves. He's like standing there with like a jug of water in his hand and is apparently waiting for you. So like the Owlin points to the guy and he says, "Once you're done, come find me inside of the Night HQ and we'll go from there." Anticipate waiting here for a bit. Not necessarily for the diplomat because he's waiting for you, but it's going to take you a little bit to work through whatever it is he needs to work through with you, and then he'll tell you what he needs you to prove.
Why do we have to prove something to him? How come he doesn't have to prove anything to us?
That's a good question. You could probably ask him.
It is?
He says as he gives you kind of a side eye and leaves.
I'm sorry, I asked a good question.
He did give you a side eye, so I don't know.
Finn is genuinely pinching himself right now.
Alright, so what are we doing?
Gonna go talk to the guy in the floral shirt.
Yeah. Finn, remember to speak to me first.
Sean, dude, do you know any like other languages just in case?
Finn, what language do you speak?
Other than common.
Draconic,
Other than common.
Elvish, Giant, Goblin, Undercommon.
Why do you have every language ever?
He has 6 languages in total.
Wait, how do you have
I
that
know
many languages?
Elvish.
Huh?
How
Wait,
do
he
you know
has
that
first
I
many?
know Elvish.
How do I know what?
Bruh. How do you know so many languages?
What's it called? He reads books.
What were you saying?
Or you talked about like actual like
Like
because he's a
mechanically
ranger.
speaking, how
Oh, it's because he's a ranger.
does he get like 3 fucking languages from that?
You get like 4.
Jeez.
You get a
Yeah.
lot like because you get 2 for enemies that you go up against, and then at like 5th level, I'm pretty sure at like 5th level or like 8th level, you get another like enemy that you're good against, so you get another 2. So that was 4, and then since he was an elf, he already knew common and elf.
Yeah, you
Elvish.
get first level you get 1 for whatever your favorite enemy is, and then at 6th level you get another one, and then you probably got at least 2 from being a elf, which should be like common and elvish.
Yeah.
And then you probably get 1 from your background.
Oh yeah, probably that.
Yeah, you might even get 2 from your background, depending on your background.
Yeah. It's
Bonkers.
just a knight.
I have common
Yeah.
and infernal.
I mean, you only have common and infernal.
Yes, it's
Yeah.
infernal in this instance would be Persian.
Okay.
Is native
Barb,
usage.
give me the duct tape back. Since I speak Elvish, he can yammer on insistently to me.
How is he
Sure.
Persian?
Oh,
Guy's
okay. Here you
Persian
go.
or Draconic?
Thank
Oh, I
you.
also
So now I've got the duct tape and I've got the capability to tell him that he's stupid in Elvish.
There you go.
Wait, I'm not talking.
I can call him stupid and Draconic.
Oh.
So what do you say to the clerk carrying the water jug?
Hey guys, my
I
girlfriend.
say,
just
hi,
here.
we're here to do diplomacy.
The clerk just kind of eyes all of you and just kind of like leans down and says, "Are you the knights?"
We are.
Oh,
Yes,
thank
we are the knights.
God, or thank gods. And then like turns and looks at the 2 silent, golden-robed giants standing next to a very large doorway to your left. And he just kind of like leans further down and is like, "They haven't said anything for like 4 hours."
Oh, wait, are they not?
We've been told that they're not supposed to say anything.
Well, like I've been told to not talk to them, and which is
Yeah,
fine.
me too.
Like I enjoy not talking to people, but when
Mm.
they don't mention that they need water, they don't say that they need to use the restroom, they don't say that they need food, they don't say that they need a chair. They just stand there, staring off into nothing.
Seems like
Ominously.
It makes your job of helping them harder when they don't need help.
Yeah, I'm here to help people. And to, of course, guide you to the room the rather large fellow is sitting in. But the fact that they've not asked me for anything is making me paranoid. Like I've done something wrong.
Well, I'll accept a cup of water. I would love to help.
Oh, thank you. And he like
You
gives you
wanna-
like a wooden cup and pours out like crisp cold water into it.
Do you have any
I
ale?
down it immediately and give him back the cup.
And he's like, thanks. It's like, no, we do not have
Thank you.
any kind of spirits in this establishment due to the fact that you are supposed to be of clear mind to do things. This is what the eye is for.
Do you have any milk?
No.
Oh.
In our weather, that spoils too quickly.
Oh.
I can give you water and water.
I will take a cup of water.
Can I also have some water?
It's like, I'll bring you to where the diplomat is sitting, and then I will bring all of you a glass of water and at least 1 refill.
Finn looks a little bummed out.
He paranoidically leads you around the corner to the like a curtained doorway that is very large.
Hey man, don't be scared. I mean, like, they're 2 people. We're like six, 7 people.
These
You'll be fine.
people,
We're Grand Knights.
like looking at these people, you have an eerie feeling. They are stock still. They're wearing gold robes from head to toe. They're wearing a set of featureless masks over their appearance. The only things that you can tell the difference between the two of them is that they both have a gold chain that goes from one shoulder down to the opposite hip. The one on the your left, no, this would be, yeah, it's your left. This guy has it going from his right shoulder down to his left hip, and the other one has it from their left shoulder down to their right hip.
All of those guys are tall. And hey, I thought we weren't allowed to have masks.
It's like, well, you're not. They're a different, they're from a different place.
Oh.
How much taller are they than me?
They are a head taller than you.
Finn, we are now transitioning into Elvish mode.
Also, can I say that Finn just like has his like hair like covering his face, like so that nobody can like exactly see his face, but you can still like.
Should we all pick up a goblin? So that if we ever need to talk amongst ourselves in public.
Why goblin though? Why
Well,
goblin?
How many of us have
Not
thieves?
like draconic.
A lot of us have thieves can't. I think it would be easier for the folk to learn thieves can't with the rest of us. Come on.
That's true.
You realize the only way you can learn thieves can't is if you are a rogue?
Actually, you can be taught thieves can't by thieves. Maybe you should ask us.
It takes
Remind
a month, I believe.
That I will be learning thieves can't. Me and Seth will sit down and learn thieves can't together.
We're gonna thieves can't lessons. We're gonna be like
parental bonding.
This is how you speak gibberish in common to make it make sense.
So who's stepping inside of the big room first?
I'll go first.
Me. I'm the diplomat. Not the diplomat.
Come on, dude. Get him, Dad.
Oh, that guy's fucking huge.
Who's huge? That's what she said.
Come on.
As the curtain opens, you see that you're let into a rather opulent room. There are pink bushes of roses and various other plants decorating the walls. You see that there's the large, tree stump as a table in the middle of the room. It is a massive tree stump. There are, of course, chairs set up around the table, but as you notice that they are situated across from the large fellow seated at the other end. This fellow is covered from head to toe in ornate but alien kind of armor. It is
it's not like our kind of armor?
No. It is... The only way that I could really explain it is if you take the Warhammer 40k Space Marine armor and turn that into Gothic medieval knight armor. Like big shoulders, head's kind of like a little bit in. He's got like a large something on his back, big chunky hands and feet, but all made out of like a silverish kind of metal that you've not had experience with, and it's like covered in like ornate runes and like scroll work. And he's sitting in a chair that is made entirely of metal. Up until this point, you have seen only things that are made out of wood, and they look like they've almost been grown into the shape of like chairs and like tables and such. This guy is sitting in a chair made entirely of metal, and it's groaning under his weight.
Is the metal chair the same metal as his armor?
No, it is local, like, cast iron.
I see.
I just sit down and just stare at him.
I think we all need to sit down. I'm waiting for Finn so that way I can sit next to him and corral his behavior appropriately.
Finn is going to go ahead and like sit right down here,
Why did
and
you have to
he's
take
actually
the
going to be
longest
the
route?
first one to talk.
Oh gosh.
Huh? What did Finn say?
He's gonna be the first one to talk.
To talk.
No.
Discuss.
Finn, this
Can
is
I?
Elvish mode time.
Oh. Can I talk first, please?
No.
Barbaros, choose a chair.
Why not?
Your charisma score sucks.
What does that mean?
I'll put you in a chair.
Your charisma score is... Your personability is lesser. I'm so
Alright,
sad. I'm
well,
so
I
sorry.
actually have like a good question though.
Yeah, well, tell me what the question is, and then we'll vet it.
Alright. Why do we have to prove ourselves to you, and you don't have to prove
Well,
yourself to us?
Uh,
We're both important.
It is a question. It is a question that we'll get to eventually, but the thing is, diplomacy requires a certain amount of false pleasantries before you get into anything that's like kind of meaty. So let's let the people that are kind of decent at false pleasantries do that first.
Alright.
Well, while you're having this like muted conversation in Elven, the guy is just like looking at you. He's got like his hands like clasped, like across his chest. He's got like one leg kind of raised up over the other, and is just patiently waiting.
So
I'm like motioning
hey
for
dude, how are
Star
you
to
doing
say
today?
something.
My bad, I'm muted. I'm a dumbass.
You are.
You could have saved me.
Anyway, I'm going to I'm gonna stand up, say my name is Star, and these are the knight. I'm the Blue Knight of. What am I the Blue Knight of?
Maybe you should look at the Blue Knight page.
Damn it. I don't have the Blue Knight page saved.
It's in the information channel in Discord.
Give me a sec.
Yellow.
Important. Come and sit. It'll look better.
Yellow Knight of Wisdom. Wait, are we supposed to say where we're from, or like what we are like of
No.
like wisdom?
Oh, I'm not letting y'all introduce yourselves. I'm just doing a general introduction.
You didn't say that.
See,
Player handbook.
believe you are abstinence?
I am abstinence. I think that's what I am.
What does that mean?
Blue Knights of abstinence.
You're absent?
It means. Means you refrain from having a partner to
Oh dang, that's like
do things with.
That is
Okay.
celibacy. In the instance of what his abstinence means is that he is able to abstain from violence because he has proven that he could.
Oh, my
So,
bad.
abstinence or different.
Yeah, you can also abstain from like speaking or abstain from drinking. So
Yes. All right. So I'm the Blue Knight of abstinence.
My gosh.
And this
I
is
was-
and these are the yellow. I'm gonna just let's pretend that I said all their names and their titles in order.
Chaw, dude, what's up? I'm Finn, the Yellow Knight of Wisdom.
I'm going to shoot Finn a death glare.
So, how are you doing, man?
shush.
Shush.
Yeah.
I am gonna ask him how he's doing, but in a more
Sorry.
polite tone.
Going to sit back down.
He's
Kinda just look at.
And then you
Like-
sit down.
as you're speaking, his like head rotates to look at everyone, and it actually has this like mild, like tiny screech of like metal moving as his head moves, and as you finalize it with "How are you doing?" The kind of pleasantry that you give, and he says, in a rather deep, kind of booming voice, he says, "Well, the trip was a little bit different, but so far I've been having a hell of a time.
Oh, right, dude. Same here.
Again, Finn,
His face is pretty nice.
you
Oh,
do not need to speak.
my bad.
You don't get to speak your diplomatic thing.
Finn's just going to shut up. Like, after, like, looking around and, like, seeing that people are giving him death glares, he's just gonna, like, shut up and just, like, go back to looking at Zoom.
The giant man puts a hand on his chest and he like bows gracefully to each of you with like a minor screech of metal as he does so, and he says, "I am Zalad Nar, the voice of the Emperor of the Arcadian Empire."
Nice to meet you. Again,
Oh,
is-
that sounds epic.
It is a
I'm Star, and I will give him a slight bow.
It's like, I appreciate you coming to meet with me on this of all days. It is not every day that one gets to break through the armada that keeps other ships from approaching to see if you potentially need any assistance.
Quite unfortunately, we do need assistance.
As it
But
seems.
If we it seems we need assistance. But if we're going to get assistance from anybody, we would quite enjoy it be you. We would quite rather it be you.
Well, out of everybody that you could otherwise choose from, in terms of battle prowess, you're looking at no one better. And he just kind of like, gives that kind of self-effacing kind of gesture with his hands.
Oh, what is Spar then?
No. Quinn. I'm not Quinn.
Quinn.
Loki. You're supposed to keep him quiet.
He's not vetting what he says. His job was to vet what he says.
Speak out of line again, and I'm putting the tape on your mouth.
The Zalad Nar just kind of leans forward and is like, "Is this normal that you silence one of your comrades due to his strange and inane questions?"
Yes, all the time.
Wait.
Unfortunately, this particular silencing has been approved by our gods.
That it is divinely
He is a
ordained.
special case.
Zumi says about 10 times a day as he rips off a little piece and throws it at his mouth.
Do a dexterity
Can
roll.
I do Dex to try to, like, dodge it? Please.
Yeah, do a dex save.
I can't.
Oh, nah.
Can I help Izumi's dex save?
Sure. How are you helping?
You better like
He like
catch it
throws
and put it
tape,
down.
I catch it and slap it on his mouth.
Okay, so roll again,
Can
Izumi.
attempt to, like, I don't know, dash back or something? Come on.
Alright, so
I'm
let's
Just
see.
gonna, like, what just happened?
So let's see what Izumi rolls for the next
Do I
one.
have to roll again?
Yeah, because you got it. You got help. Oh no!
It's Finn's day, it's Finn's day,
Holy
it's
cow,
Finn's day.
3 of those. Are you kidding?
3 ones, man.
Finn's like,
And
I'm a mouth.
Okay. Loki, I need you to roll.
Anywhere doesn't
a dex.
succeed.
Yeah. And Loki, do a dex save as well.
A save?
Well, like just a dexterity roll.
God dang it, I'm screwed.
It can't be sleight of hand.
You know what? Sure.
No.
Okay, so Izumi, as you go to flick it, the leg of your chair breaks. So it is very off target, but then Loki, in the midst of a beautiful acrobatic action, jumps up, grabs it, and slaps it onto Finn's face.
Mm.
Yes.
Specifically on his mouth?
Yes.
Mm.
I told him to stop speaking.
Finn is going to, like, kind of, like, rub his, his mouth a bit, because that's what I actually did, like, sing a little bit.
It takes 1d4 bludgeoning.
No.
Finn's just gonna kind of...
Let me move to another chair. That's all that.
Yeah, he did break that one. One of the like clerks comes in and takes the chair, and is like, "Sorry, I didn't expect that to break," and then like leaves with it.
I turn to our new diplomat friend and I say, I thank you ever so much for your patience.
So this has been entertaining so far. It's not every day I get to see a diplomat slap another one. With fancy divine tape, no less.
Would you? I'm gonna hand him. I'm gonna look up to him and try to hand him a piece of tape. Would you like to try?
Sure. Like, but he like before he takes it, it's like put it on his mouth, or
I go over to Finn and I'm gonna rip the piece off of his face.
No.
And I'm gonna hand it.
He is like 3 times my size. All right, maybe we could spar. But I don't want to do that.
Nope.
That's going to be.
I'm gonna hand him the tape and I'm like, it is magically enchanted to only work on him.
Nope.
he like
I
tests
take a
it.
piece and put it on my mouth. It doesn't, and I start speaking.
It like slowly slides off.
Finn's going to like jump out of his seat and like run next to Corin. Corin, please.
So
you gotta
she
save me, please.
looks up at
You're
you.
crazy.
So she looks up at you, like maintains eye contact with you, and she takes out her little slate and chalk and says, "All you have to do is shut up." On the little slate, then points back at your chair.
He's got like this
Alright.
walk of shame on his way back.
He's just slowly walking back with his head down.
I
Keep that
am
up, you
genuinely
got it in
offering
a
the
tape.
guy. I'm genuinely offering the big guy a chance to do it if he would like.
It's like, I will hold on to this, and like slaps it onto his helmet, and then like leaves it there.
Even if they're rainy
Just
day.
his eyes and put his hands
So,
down on
how do you
the table.
feel about helping us? I guess.
Well, as much as I would just freely give you this assistance, because having a war on 3 fronts is not ideal in any situation, my emperor, as bountiful in wisdom as he is, has commanded that I must test you first.
How would you like to test me?
Well, it is not just you; it is all of you.
How would you like to test me?
The tests aren't necessarily something that I can quantify into words. There are 3 that he requires to be tested. As it stands, you have a week to personally show me these. The 3 tests are valor, mercy, and patience.
Do I have to actually? I'm gonna look over at Finn. Do I have to take mercy on him?
It is not a specific kind of mercy. It is.
Wait, what?
Like I said, I don't know how to put it into words as to what these all mean. As the voice of the Emperor, he will tell me when you have succeeded or if you still need to work on it.
Have we succeeded on our patience test yet?
And he just kind of like pauses
Feel
for a
like we're
second.
failing with Finn.
He like pauses for a second. He's like, as far as I am aware, he is still testing you.
Yeah.
Okay. Is he here?
All right.
He speaks through me.
Oh, okay.
Should he deign to grace you with his presence, don't flinch, and be prepared for his odd way of speaking.
Whoa, is he like spooky like the chaos guy?
Isn't this guy duct taped?
No,
Yeah.
unfortunately, I ripped the piece off of his mouth.
Yeah.
Oh.
So he just kind of like pauses and like leans forward and says, "You met someone of chaos, you say?"
Oh, no. We were supposed to like kill some guys,
I'm
some
going to
chaos
slap
guys.
the piece of tape back on Finn's mouth before he says anything compromising.
Excuse me.
And then
I
I'm
will
going to
explain
look at him
everything
and
later.
I'm going to say, yes, we met a being of chaos.
Was it a
He gave
strange, fiery, emaciated man who spoke in a strange way?
Mm-hmm.
Ah.
Yeah.
You know him?
He said he was a CFO. I don't even know what those letters mean.
So, like, you see the eye slit in his helmet light up in, like, energy, and you feel this, like, probing sensation cover all of your bodies.
Frick.
He says,
Yeah.
well, that answers one question. And you
Can I
see,
assume you just scanned us for chaos?
sure did.
And he is probably dissatisfied.
No, we
Oh
cannot
no,
hear you.
Barb, we cannot hear you at all.
I was
I'm so
hearing you a
sorry
little
to
bit.
tell you.
Wow, I'm sorry.
I can't hear him at all.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Okay, because I've been like talking.
Oh,
Sorry.
I was
So
gonna
sorry.
say,
Yeah, no. Your audio wasn't going through.
I think his Finn won't shut the fuck up.
Okay.
I was gonna
Yeah,
say,
I've been,
they won't shut up. We
You
just
were
none of us
friend-
hear you.
Hey, Barb.
It's just been too chaotic.
Were you trying to say something, Barb?
I said I was responding to everything. It's just been too chaotic, so no one could hear me.
Well, what were you trying to respond with?
I pretty sure I responded to everything said, but when he asked if he if we met someone in chaotic, I said yes. I will explain it later. Excuse him.
Well, he already pretty much has his answer now. He says, well, good news is you're not something I have to kill. Bad news
Oh
is,
gosh.
let me ask you something. And he like leans forward
Yeah.
and like he's like a loud grinding of metal and says, has he been speaking to you today? And I want all of you to do an insight check for me.
Oh,
Has
Sean,
been
dude.
speaking to me?
Oh snap! An
The
insight?
voice
Guy
in the
keeps
back
on
of your
talking
head.
about Brittany.
Oh yeah.
I lost my mouse somewhere in my bed. Don't know how that
A
happened.
Insight check?
Yep.
Heck yeah. I'm so insightful.
I'm
Please,
very
I want to hear
not
more about
Oh,
Brittany.
the dang thing.
Yes, I can hear more about Brittany.
No, the point is to not hear anything about Brittany.
But I want to hear more about Brittany.
That toy.
We got tired.
You have all come to the conclusion that this entire day so far, the voice in the back of your head, which is an insistent voice, has said not a thing.
I'm a little concerned. I haven't heard any gossip on Brittany. I don't know whether Brittany hasn't done anything, like gossip
Finn-
worthy, or if
Finn,
the voice
my friend,
Hey,
she's
there.
not relevant. The answer is no, we haven't heard anything today.
Oh yeah, sorry.
It's like, so I will reveal to you a little bit of my nation's story, if you have the patience for it.
We do.
Of course.
And he,
Sounds interesting.
like a very large hand, points towards the doorway, and he says, the two people standing out in front of my door, and he does use the possessive of my door. They are what is known as the bound.
They're bound to what?
So, in my nation's history, in Arcadia's history, magic nearly killed us all. We are a warrior nation who utilized magic as one would utilize an artillery weapon. In your case, a trebuchet or a catapult. We would use it to grand scale in our battles, and it nearly killed us. So, the emperor of the time. Oh, he's speaking robot again. He's speaking parcel time.
Domo arigato, Mr. Roboto.
Domo.
Domo. I love that song. I haven't heard that. I was like 12.
Welcome back, Barbaros.
Okay, I wasn't speaking.
Okay, because all we heard was meh, meh.
Oh, no, not me.
Where was I? Magic nearly killed us. So the emperor of the time, before they became divinely ordained, decided that a magic user can no longer function on their own. So our spellcasters created what is known as the Telleth 10, the Golden Cord, which is a magical binding that connects two individuals together, creating what is known as the Thrak Nakar, the one who is bound, and the Tosh Nathar, which is the one who binds. The one who is bound produces the magic, while the one who binds can guide it. These are usually male-female pairs, but if one desires someone of a different gender, then as long as they produce some kind of offspring, we don't really care what they do on their off time.
How did they produce on? Never mind.
I mean, I would assume the normal way is it just kind of looks at you all confused and is like, do you, he's just like leans forward conspiratorially, and you see like one of the golden robed guys go and like close the blinds. I was like, is sex different for you?
I mean, in orc culture,
Depends on the
That.
species.
in orc culture, we're not necessarily taught about that. We just
Just figure it out. It's not standard education over there.
no, we just one thing into another thing, you know, baby comes out in a few months.
The
It's-
limited knowledge base.
Yeah.
Is it different for each race?
I would hope not.
Was that a DM question or an in-character
No, that is
question?
both.
Can somebody please unsay thing?
No,
No,
because you say silly inane things that get us off topic.
We're already
I
on
didn't
topic.
expect the
It's still on
next out of
topic.
character. I did not
I
expect-
actually have a good question though. Not really a good question.
ask that.
I broke Loki and Barb.
Oh my god.
The amount of giggling happening now is
Oh my God.
extraneous.
Okay.
Are you guys giggling like this over the high five?
Nah, over graceful diplomat saying to the question of is sex different for other species, saying I hope not.
Oh.
Are you all giggling like never mind.
Yeah.
Never mind.
They're muted now, so they can keep their giggles to themselves.
Was giggling.
Most bonds between the one who binds and the one who is bound is not necessarily romantic in nature. It's more of a business transaction almost. A lot of the binding is about their mental compatibility with one another. There's a rare, like 1 in every 100 million of somebody who has no compatibility, who has given the option of being cut from the tides of magic or dying an honorable death. And those are the two outside this door.
Quick question.
Huh.
If you, okay, and this isn't a theory, and this might, I don't know if this is off topic, but he's talking about cutting them from the weave of magic. Yeah. Is there a way without like making a magic re-volatile in somebody? Would you be able to rebind somebody to the weave of magic, allowing them to dream and
Why do you have someone that has been cut from it?
My kid.
Why is he cut from it?
Was he born with his wild magic?
Yes.
Yeah. So he was born with wild magic.
As
And
like
ver-
an
and
infant?
as an infant.
Oh.
You see how that could be bad, right?
Well, as far as my understanding of your concept of magic works, is that it shouldn't have appeared until he was of age. How
That's the
old
point.
is this child?
He is now 12, I think.
Well, there's good news. You can reconnect him before he turns into his majority until his body has stopped maturing. Is he orcish too?
You said what? He could be orcish?
No, I said, is he orcish too?
No, he's a human child.
So his majority is at 18. So you have another 5 years to physically prepare him if you want to connect him again. Our methods are a lot different than yours. We don't have a method of reattaching it, but as I am made aware of your magical capabilities here, there's most likely some temple of some god of magic that you could probably reconnect him with.
And now that I think of it, we were literally in the realm of gods. We could have asked one of them.
Hindsight is
It wasn't
2020.
relevant at the time.
To lead you to why chaos is not speaking to you right now is we have a natural resistance to him, to the point where he does not try to corrupt us, because he has found it is rather dangerous to corrupt an Arcadian mind, because we do not go down without a fight. As you look back on when you met this emaciated skeleton figure, he was not always that way. And that is all I will say on that. I mean, he has skin still. It's just, not all of it.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my god.
You stole his skin.
Well, what do you expect us to do when he's trying to take over the minds of individuals of an empire with several billion people in it?
It's a very reasonable thing to do.
Thank you. I appreciate your sensibility in this.
Yes.
I thought you would have sealed him away.
No. We allow him to continue to do his business because he'll figure out a way to get out eventually. So we just scarred him for life.
Oh.
It's a preventative measure. It prevents him from fucking around and finding out again.
Yes. Because he knows that we could do even worse. The last promise our God Emperor made, just after he was bound, since now every emperor is one of the bound, he told them that should chaos ever appear on Arcadian shores again, he will strive to find wherever this chaos creature lives and turn him into a head.
Oh, good.
Because you cannot kill chaos, but you can limit the things it's capable of doing, such as emoting with one's hands.
Or breathing with their lungs.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's a metaphysical being. Breathing is something that he does for effect.
Yes, but you can take that effect away.
Sure can, especially if he's just a floating head. Well, maybe we'll probably put him in like a jug of some kind.
My goal is to eliminate him and his entire nation.
Well, I would say good luck with that, but you would need more than luck. And hopefully, by the end of all this, we'll be able to help you.
Great.
Do you have any questions about my nation?
What are you?
I am Arcadian.
You have flesh?
Yes.
Okay.
Can I convince
How
him to
did
give
you
me
skin
any
him?
advice trying to do these trials?
What are you trying to do, Star?
Convince him to give me advice about the trials.
I don't know what the trials are, so I cannot give you advice.
Okay.
My God Emperor will tell you whether you have succeeded or not.
How did you skin him?
I didn't skin him. It was done by a circle of other bound ones.
Oh.
Which, by reference, if I am understanding your chivalric magic enough, your circles are generally numbered in prime numbers. Ours was 4.
Yes. Oh.
And that is 4 bound ones, so that is 4 pairs. They are, in our culture, they are considered 1B. So a bound one is 2 people.
Oh.
So that was a group of 8, if you want to put it into your numeric system. Otherwise, for us, it is 4 bound ones.
Is being bound like a marriage?
No, it is not based off of romance or even mutual interest. It's a mental compatibility and a business transaction. These are weapons. Your strange, shy friend is making noises again.
I will remove the duct tape, but only enough so that way he can talk and I can slap it shut if I need to.
What is sex?
I slap it shut.
We'll
You say, we can discuss this later.
Okay. Corin in the back is just kind of holding her hand up to her head, just face palming so hard.
Corin has kids for being with us.
She was commanded by her god. She had no choice.
Or is this like, these idiots are in charge of the fate of the world?
These are the
Actually,
representatives of our nations?
I genuinely have no idea how Finn got there. How not Corin a lot.
It's
To
not
be
like
fair,
Finn had any parents to teach him these things. It is so terribly sad.
I'm gonna look to the party, and I'm speaking out loud to everybody. To be fair with you, I somehow skipped the trial.
Excuse me?
Him in the trial. Why?
Don't know how it happened. I
What?
did. I entered
Did he
the place on
canonically
a dare.
trial?
Yes?
What?
I entered the place on a dare, and now I have these abilities, and I have a duty to
Well, we're not
uphold.
on about you. We're on about the fact that Finn got here without knowing what.
Oh, yeah, that too.
How old is
Make
Finn?
both of them take the trial again.
How old is Finn?
Finn is. I'm pretty sure Finn is like. Hold up. I'll check right now.
You are based
Finn,
off of
I
elven
Earlier,
years.
he was like 20.
So you are, by every account, by elven standards, a baby.
He is 20.
Oh.
As an ageless race, being 20 years old means that you've barely experienced anything in your life.
How
I
did
don't.
How the hell did you
Okay.
He just stared
Chris,
at a
when
basilisk
is
for 10
elven
minutes
sex
straight.
What's that?
He just stared into a basilisk's eyes for 10 minutes straight. Nobody knows.
on a dare?
Possibly. I
No.
feel like he
That's
just
how
did it
Star
out
got
of
here.
boredom.
That is how Star got here. He did.
I feel like we should slap another 0 on Finn's age just to make it more reasonable that he's here.
Honestly, if he's 20, that means I could have actually adopted him and brought him along with me. Because Star is in his 30s.
What's his age of maturity? What's the age of maturity for
I believe they mature at the same age as
Right?
humans do. Because we're just
just
going to go
age
based
slower.
off of normal elf, not what a Eldrin does.
Elgin, yeah.
Okay,
So he is like
he-
old enough to know better at this point.
It's whatever. I adopted him. I didn't.
Well, he's not even an
very well.
adult yet. Okay,
He is.
so
You
no,
can
you
adopt
need to
him.
be. You have to be over 100 years old.
Oh.
Yeah, so
'Cause-
slap another extra 0 on it.
Yeah.
It's 200.
200.
Right.
Which
Slap it
means-
on like you slap on the tape.
It's like,
Make him
how did he get
exact
armor if he's not an adult?
100.
Yeah. Because, I mean, I remember session 0, you saying no one's allowed to play as a child in this campaign.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I
Right.
would have been playing a teenage character.
So yeah.
Full transparency.
Alright, 101 good enough?
Yes, 101 is fine. You are a mature adult.
Mature-ish.
You skipped every single sex ed class you possibly could have. You failed
He
that
was
class
sand
and they
surfing,
still
bro.
let you graduate.
He
was too busy sand surfing.
Yeah.
You
Oh my
literally-
gosh.
Dude, I was training.
You killed your parents before they got the chance to teach you.
Oh my god, we just
Badly.
created thin lore in that.
Then more.
Finn Lore
How
said
does
his
the
parents
diplomat-
had
Gotta
to be
on
murdered
to the
before
next
they taught him
episode,
sex
just
ed.
waiting out the
How does the
lore.
diplomat feel about this? I just admitted that I accidentally completed my trial.
I mean, I'm not here to judge you for
Finn
that.
just did his off of boredom, but
So if
nobody can hear that because
if it was-
Finn has duct tape.
If it was a trial of honesty, then you'd probably have succeeded by telling me this. But otherwise, I mean, congrats.
They can't strip me of my armor and my power, can they?
You're named a Grand Knight. The only way you can lose that title is if you dishonor yourself so greatly that they have to execute you for it, or you die.
Okay, fair enough. I will take the tape off of his mouth again, only to the point where I can just slap it back on.
It's going to be like, alright, so one of them was like the test of patience, right?
Yes.
Slaps it back on his mouth. Anyway, where are we supposed to go?
This has
That's
to be.
not fair. Yes, the test of patience is something we have to work on.
The other one is
Are we not
mercy,
already being tested in
and the other one is valor.
Patience, valor, and mercy.
Tell them that like he has something to add.
I untape him just enough.
Alright. So you said how like that would have like counted? Well, I stared at a basilisk's eyes for 10 minutes straight. Does that count for like the test of patience?
You had to do that to become a Grand Knight, didn't you?
Chaw, dude.
Nah. You did it
Well, it was 1
for
minute, but
alternative reasons.
Mm.
And besides which, you
Well-
achieved it before this test. So no, it does not
I
count.
did it because of boredom, but still.
This test is fresh, and I slap the tape back over him, and I pat him on the head.
He just like takes the tape off of his head. It's like, that's very useful. I have a number of individuals in my homeland that this could be useful for.
Didn't we already like show him how it only works on Finn?
Yeah,
because
he's like,
Star put it on his own mouth and it slipped off.
It's like, I will figure out a way to produce this for everyone, and puts the like rolls up the duct tape and puts it inside of his armor. And you before we end the session here, all of you feel this kind of like weird shiver go down your back as 13 gods come to the understanding that they just gave one of the most advanced civilizations on this planet duct tape.
Magical duct tape
Nice.
is that?
Oh wow, look at where
Yeah,
it
they're
got
gonna
you,
have a
huh?
booming
Tape up Finn,
economy.
huh? You're gonna get repercussions for taping up Finn, huh? It's gonna come back to bite you in the butt.
No. This is excellent for our diplomatic relations.
Yes, you
Honestly,
increase
we
their
should announce
technological
their
level.
coffee room, by the way.
Yeah. We gave them free tech, and yeah, primary use, silencing other people. Secondary uses, they are going to have so much plumbing issues solved.
They do have indoor plumbing now.
Yeah.
So,
We-
what?
I just said, we have solved so many problems for them, and they don't even know.
Say goodbye to YouTube, everybody.
Goodbye, YouTube.
I mean, bye,
Thank you
YouTube.
for putting up with us.
Good
Make sure to
night.
like and subscribe.
Make
And
sure
check
to
out the
play
next
school.
episode for more Finn
Thank
lore.
you, Haley.
Bye, Haley.